Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your host, Rotten Rye. This is episode 9 of the Weekly Grind. As always, I got my little cohort, my little partner in crime, Daryl, also known as Red Warrior, who plays games very badly. And always the very beautiful Remy Punks.
Aw, thank you, Rye. Hi, everybody.
Hello. How's it going?
Host, Rotten Rye. This is episode 9. Oh, shit, I do not have shit muted. Alright, joining us tonight, we got two Johns, so this will be interesting, as always, interesting way to go about things. Crime.
Yeah, mute that shit.
I got it. It's muted.
All right.
All right.
I got
But,
somebody asking if they can come on.
Who's wanting to come on?
I don't recognize this person. Their it's MA Living Laughing.
Laughing Man?
I think that's who it is, but yeah, it is Laughing Man. Okay. You
Yeah,
cool?
go ahead and kick him an invite.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's a cool guy.
Yeah. No, I don't want to start inviting people without express written permission of the NFL.
Shit. Get consent
Yeah.
from all parties.
Yeah. I cannot broadcast this link without the express written consent of the FBI.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that took a weird turn.
Okay. I swear to God, this never happens until we go live.
Yeah.
Like, on my throat, this goes to shit.
Nervousness.
Yeah. Don't be nervous. It's not
There's no
your
nervousness about it, though. I've been doing this for how long now?
Are you sure it wasn't our conversation that occurred right before you hit the going live button?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Possible.
Possible.
I sent
And actually, modern day Merlin might be on later tonight as well.
you. Okay.
I'm not sure if is aware of the time change, but oh yes, Marco, thank you, and happy New Year to you too, bud.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. It's a new year. It's 2015.
This it is.
That means we're more than 10% past this century. Only 90% more to go, guys. Or 85%.
Let's make sure we finish strong, all right?
That's right. That's right. We're going to pace ourselves through this century so we don't run out of steam near the end.
All right, so
Yeah.
what was that, Daryl?
I don't know, man.
We were going to talk about
from the
games.
sickness.
This is a gaming stream. We should talk about games.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
going there
Yahtzee is
last
fun,
week.
man. Fucking Yahtzee. I would play that every day of the week. Oh, you talking about different kind of games? All right, let's do this.
Okay, let's go ahead and just go down the list. Start with John Apocalypse. What are you? Wow, what have you been playing this
Apocalypse.
week, John?
I like that. John Apocalypse. That will be my name from now on.
No, the other John.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
John, not John.
Are you kidding? My AVI is a guy sitting on a tower of skulls.
I'm pretty
I
sure
see
that's
that,
from the
but-
new Conan.
How is that not a okay? Anyways, you go.
So yeah, what were we playing? Smash Brothers, which is really good. Shadow Border, really good.
What's your main? What's your main on Smash?
Samus. Very big
Oh, yeah.
Samus. Also, I really like Pac-Man and Kirby.
Well, Kirby's like the most OP character in that game. He always has been.
Yeah,
Well,
I
not
think
the most, but he's one of the most.
I think they like increased the power of the hammer in this one. There's way more damage. And
Anyone else been playing?
Wind Waker HD. That's it.
Yeah, I still have yet to complete that, honestly.
Like,
Which one?
Wind Waker HD.
you know what's weird? Like, going back to Nintendo, like, so I bought my Wii U like 2 weeks ago, and like, even though it's against like a year old, they're still full price, which is insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Plus,
yeah.
I had actually gotten mine as the bundle.
Right.
I was lucky enough to find it still available back when I picked mine up, so I was like, all right, cool. And now, mind you, this was like a year after this thing's released.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh yeah, we still have it. So it was like, holy shit, are you guys really not selling that well?
No, they're just I don't know.
Like,
Those bundles, it really depends.
Well, now, mind you, this is also pre Mario Kart 8 too, so.
Yeah.
also like, I remember buying the original Waker for £25 rather than 40. That came with a free copy of Ocarina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, check the group chat.
I see that.
And then
Go ahead and on to the next. Actually, we just had someone join. Jason, do you want to go ahead and whatever you've been playing this week? But
Honestly, I've been working on a little present for Daryl.
oh, no kidding.
I've been playing a shitload of Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and I've been writing down the really good seeds.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I just came across a really good one with Azazel.
Nice. I'm looking forward to this, sir.
Other
Send
than
that
that,
shit my
I've
way.
been playing Mario, or not Mario. Damn you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Sonic Racing with you guys, and a little bit of No Mori on the side.
Oh yeah. Go to the MZS official YouTube channel and check that Sonic Racing out. It's a good
And
time.
see why we're all going to hell.
Oh yeah. Lots of beef fucking and casual racism.
Hey, no, I came in after the be fucking the casual racism, so I'm still saved.
Yeah, you're good.
I have not had a chance to condemn myself to hell yet.
Right. All right. Who's next in the? I mean, are you done? That's what you've been playing, Jason.
Yeah. Been a
And I
really
guess the other John's next, right?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously this past week we had New Year's, and then before that we had Christmas. So my family's been doing a whole lot of, hey, old buddy, what you been up to? Type of
Right.
stuff. But when I haven't been, I've been working on. I've been playing a lot of Ghosts actually, because we already established that I'm a Call of Duty fanboy, but I have not gotten Advanced Warfare, or rather, I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, so that I can then drain my life soul, my life's essence into that game
Right.
instead of the ones I currently.
It's all good though. Like, it's one of the things where it's Sledgehammer's first go around. And I think they did really good, and I think that they really. I can't. The people are gonna hate me for this one, but I think they thought outside of the box as far as the jetpacks and shit. But a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, what about Titanfall?" It's one of the things.
because I was actually considering that. Because the two are very similar, minus the wall running and the. Well, I mean, they even have like Goliaths in the event. But the thing that I'm not sure of is like when the development for each one started, because maybe there was a nod off, like one took a nod from the other one, but at the same time, maybe they both got really lucky and just thought of the same shit at the same time.
It's one of the things where I'd like to say it's just largely coincidence, but
like maybe the wife of one of the developers is actually cheating on him with like the one of the other developers from the other game.
Dun,
And
dun,
she's just like telling all the dirty secrets.
controversy.
Like
It's been widely known that I hate Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
I like Advanced Warfare.
Nice.
do you?
I
That's very
don't
cool.
love it, but I thought the multiplayer was very fun. I haven't had a chance to kick the single player.
Now, what did you think of Halo 5? Have you played Halo 5 yet?
Hell no, I hate
It
Halo.
actually adds jetpacks into that too, but they're
Yeah.
not like boosting up jetpacks. It's like you jump off
No,
the ledge and you aim, and it'll give you like a little like a slow levitate downward kind of deal, so you can actually jump and shoot and stuff like that.
Someone's got weird sound effects going on here.
Yeah, somebody turned on Google Effects. Fucking ass.
Here's the thing, though. It seems like Halo has been getting more and more Call of Duty-ish with the past couple iterations, especially this last one. I saw like they added
Yeah,
sprint
they actually
functions
aimed
for
down
everyone.
sights as well. Well, that was sprinting was in 4.
Yeah.
A lot of people can argue that 4 was a lot more
sort of.
along the lines of COD than 5 will be, because 5's gone back to the arena style of combat, where weapons are just laying around, you can pick them up and shit like that. 4 was legitimately, you build your setup, and you do so well, and you can call in a drop pod to give you specific power up or weapon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't like that. That's not that audience. People play Halo to have that arena style of combat, and that really wasn't treating that audience well.
I will say though, I really like that C4 gun in Halo 4. You know what I'm talking about? It's one of the drops you can get. You can just like shoot sticky C4
Oh yeah.
on like different stuff, and you can just be a total dick and just like tag random vehicles, and then just wait to see someone driving it and just click.
Actually, odd time to bring it up, John. Was it you that had the conversation with Halo as a metaphor for jihadists?
Oh yeah, I wasn't part of that conversation, and someone was like, "In before John realizes that it's actually Islam." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Now,
It was interesting. It was.
All right, so that just went down a dark road.
Well, no, dude. It was actually the whole thing of when you get down to it, they're just differing religious groups. That kind of idea.
Or different cultural,
I see what you're
different
saying.
cultures. You can look at Halo, the whole story, as a war between different cultures, which it is, and the Covenant, their tendencies are very, very strongly aligned with modern day Islam, especially the extremist factions of it.
Yeah, that's not
aside
going on,
from-
but that's
Aside from them
that's-
having vehicles that are alive and energy shields,
Yeah, that's not
basically-
good on. That's a can of worms I'm not wanting to get into.
But I will point out that
Oh, man.
in Halo, grunts do grab plasma grenades and then activate them and run at people.
Yeah.
There's some similarities there. And how many times have you been rolling along and then a fucking elite just rolls over you with the tank? I mean, flies his tank into you. I mean,
The ghost? You mean?
Okay, Daryl, on to you.
Let's see. Well, aside from Sanic with the MZS crew, I've been playing just various games, messing around with my capture card. I've joined
I finally fucking played something this week. What was it?
I've
Daryl,
joined the
Plug
Grand
your
Theft Auto.
videos.
What's that?
Plug your videos.
That's what I was trying to do before you assholes interrupted
dude,
me.
plug your videos, okay? Why aren't you plugging your videos right now?
I was gonna
plug
say
it.
I'm joining the
Go plug it.
ranks of socially awkward idiots, and I'm doing a Let's Play series, Donkey Kong Country Returns, because what should a guy who plays games badly play, besides a game that's notorious for its difficulty? And you can find that on my channel, Red Warrior Plays Games Badly, and also on the Mindless Zombie Studios official channel, along with the incriminating evidence that is the Sonic videos. So go check that stuff out and enjoy. I'm pretty sure at one point I advocate underage smoking, so...
Everything in the Sonic videos, make sure you take everything we say there in total context and don't just pick words out.
No, they meant everything literally, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
no, the only thing we meant
Everything literally.
is that Daryl fucks bees.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. All that be fucking... But, yeah, so yeah, go check out my videos. There'll be more to come when I'm not feeling quite as sick. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just...
Speaking of Let's Plays,
Yeah.
I'm actually working on me and a couple other buddies from MZS, and I actually have a friend from outside MZS who's going to be joining us. We are working on starting up a Let's Play for MindZ. And actually, we're kind of picking between MindZ and MindZ 2 because the Shotbow server, who created the original MindZ, which is a Minecraft ripoff of DayZ, which was one of the original zombie apocalypse games that was you would actually go around scavenging and trying to survive, and it was massive multiplayer online that you had to worry about other people trying to come in and ruin your shit. And they have now a Minecraft version, and now a second Minecraft version where you have to go and how many people here are actually familiar with MindZ?
Nope. Anybody in the chat there?
Still.
It's excellent. If you have a Minecraft account, you can access it. You just got to get onto the Shoppo server, and it's great. You can get dehydrated, you can get hungry, you can get zombie fever, and when you die, your character actually turns into a zombie.
Zombie fever. Oh.
It's fantastic, and they have a massive map with all kinds of different structures and towns and rules, and you would actually play MindZ somewhat like as if it were a zombie apocalypse, but you run around with wooden swords and leather armor instead of
Nice.
M16s and your favorite 9mm.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I want to say I saw some videos about that game, but I can't remember.
I didn't. I just saw Jonathan talking about playing that and doing that.
I'll tell you what. If you look up some of the videos for people doing the Let's Plays of Days of MindZ, it's.
I think the Game Grumps did it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one Total Minecraft graphics, right? And shit, and you there's I don't know. The video I saw had them out in the water to avoid zombies, and those zombies are fucking fast.
Dude, the zombies in MindZ do not move at the same speed as zombies in regular Minecraft.
Right.
They have super speed.
Yeah, and they're relentless.
They are, and also in in the new Mind Z2, they have something like called like a gold toe zombie, which is a weird name, but essentially what it means is it comes in and fucks your shit up because it has like enchanted armor and an enchanted sword, and you could be in the beginning with just like a leather tunic and a wooden sword, going, "Holy fuck, how do I get out of this?"
Oh shit, it does sound pretty interesting. I'll have to give it a look.
It is, and there's a huge cooperative element to it as well, because you can have like healing ointments and basically there's like a whole. If someone gets hurt, there's actually a whole bandaging procedure where like you bandage them up and put on ointment, and then you like cut the bandage onto them that you can't do to yourself. So it actually encourages to some extent, because you have to balance out the being able to heal each other element with the, oh, if I kill that guy, I can get all of his stuff because I'm starving and I don't have any food element.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds involved and real interesting and way above my freaking pay grade.
Let's just say like there's a surprising level of emotional investment in this game. Like I've played like a couple hours at a time, and there was a span where I went like 3 or 4 days without dying. And when I finally got like mugged by 2 assholes who had like premium accounts and iron swords and all this kind of crap, I almost threw my keyboard against the wall. I was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm done with this, mother." I couldn't believe it. I couldn't, because the game is, because it's a survival element, and because you actually have to build yourself up in order to survive. And if you die, you literally start from scratch. There's a very much like an emotional investment where once you get going, it's like addictive, and then once you die, you're like, I'm just gonna take a break.
Yeah.
For a while, and just go fuck.
Just kind of ruminate over your loss.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna get a pipe and just stare deeply and forlornly into my into the fire. I remember the days.
Yeah. You're all pondering life and crap. All right, Ryan, what are you playing, man?
I've been fucking around a little bit of Halo 1 trying to finish off that story, because I just didn't really remember it. It's been fucking forever since I've played it, so figured I'd run through that again. In the off time that I'm not playing WoW. That's right, console peasant playing WoW.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, everyone's got to feel bad for the people I'm playing with, because every 5 seconds I'm just sitting there like, alright, where do I go? What do I do now? Where is that? What is this? Don't tell me to go there. I don't know what the fuck this is. This isn't a real world. I don't know these locations.
That's how I felt the other night when we did Grand Theft Auto 5. I was like, fuck this tutorial.
Oh my god, yeah, it's I'm having fun with it, but I'm still pretty rough at it. Once I play a little more, I'll feel confident in actually making videos that are actually somewhat entertaining. But right now, I got nothing, so I'm not even trying to raps it or anything.
So how far along are you on the addiction scale for World of Warcraft?
Shit. On a scale of what, 1 to 10, or?
Are you at the oh, I can go 15 minutes and then just leave it phase, or are you at the like, I'll get on for 15 minutes and then get off at like 6 a.m. the next day?
Yeah, that's for the level I'm at right now. If I play, I'm playing. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling these guys, I finally finished Shadows of Mordor. Like, I have a really bad habit nowadays, mainly because I actually have expendable income to the extent of I can buy all the games upon release. And when doing that, I end up jumping games without finishing other games. So that kind of leads to this wonderful little problem of stopping at a game when I get bored and then moving on to another.
I haven't finished a game in years.
Actually, it was kind of like that. I was like, holy shit, I don't think I finished the game all fucking year. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jason knows this. I went back early this month and I finished off Watch Dogs. Fucking wow, that ending. Then I went out back, I think it was earlier this week or the past week. I think it was this week that I went back and I finished Shadow of Mordor. And again, wow, that ending. You sequel baiting fucks, that ending. Why? But yeah, I don't know. Like, the gameplay and everything was solid. It was fun, but I don't know. That ending didn't sit well with me.
Do you regret your choice to finish the game?
Shadows?
Yes.
No, because I got to see the boss fight, which was terrible. It was legitimately 30 seconds of quick time.
Well, I mean,
I could spoil it right now if I wanted to. There's only 7 viewers. Like, I could so spoil the ending like right now, and it wouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah, quit it.
Quit it. Well, don't forget. By the time next week, there'll be like at least 50 views.
Right.
Maybe 53.
True.
Maybe 53.
That's
But don't
53
count on
people's lives
54,
I
that's
crushed.
just way off.
That's
Let's
53
not
people's
get
lives that
too
I've
big
crushed.
ahead here.
Yeah,
But look, that's 53 people's lives that I've crushed right there. So I don't know.
Exactly. Well, because
Um,
I heard the whole thing about the cake is a lie for years before I ever played Portal.
yeah.
But see, no one ever gave away the ending to Portal because the story plot for Portal is so complex. As is and Portal 2 especially. Like I've tried to explain to people, it's like you run around with a gun and you jump through portals to solve puzzles, but it's not like stupid. It's really fun.
Legitimately one of the most technical first-person shooters ever made.
It is. It is unique and stand out amongst the first-person shooters. Like I adore the shit out of it.
More a first-person puzzle game.
It's one of them games where it doesn't matter who you have over. You can throw that game in, give somebody else the controller, and they will have fun.
Oh yeah.
You know what else I like about it is, at least as far as I can tell, maybe someone did and I didn't notice, there doesn't seem to be anyone trying to make really shitty knockoffs of it. Like I've seen nods to it. Like in Minecraft, there's mods for it, and I think someone made like a Mario Kart version.
Hell, Darksiders had its own version of the portals and shit.
Yeah, but like it's all tributary. Like there's
Right,
no one
right.
like saying, "Oh, let's take this idea and just fuck it real hard." Like
Right.
nobody, and I love that. Like it's a rare thing.
For sure.
This game, I don't remember it was. It looks a whole lot like Portal, but it's to do with like gravity and stuff, like something. Does anyone remember?
I have no idea.
Yeah, dude, your mic went real quiet at the end there.
Sorry. Something Conundrum, was it?
Nothing. I got nothing again, bro.
Oh,
Can you use sign language?
right.
if it's let me put mic on.
Alright, well, I don't know. I've also, I don't know. I played a little bit of Sonic this week, too, but by the time I hopped on, they were all getting off, so I got to play, like, a total of 4 races, these fuckers, before they left.
Yeah.
And then,
But it was
Daryl said we played, like, what, a good hour of GTA and streamed that shit? Well, I streamed it. You were still busy doing tutorial shit. So.
Yeah, most of that was just me trying to finish that lame-ass tutorial. It's like I've done all this shit in the main game, Just give me the basics and let me figure it out myself. That shit was
Honestly,
annoying.
I felt that tutorial was way too hand-holdy and expected nobody played the main game first.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. It was like I have played the main game. I get the concepts. There are a few little minor differences to the way it's structured.
Well, no, you gotta let them know that it does give you the option to ditch the tutorial.
Yeah, but you can't. The thing is, it was saying it wouldn't let me play online
Yeah.
until I did it. So I'm like, fuck.
Speaking of tutorials, I wanted to say something because I downloaded Arma 2 in order to play the DayZ mod, which I haven't been able to yet. But I speaking of the whole tutorial thing, one thing I noticed about what Arma 2 does is they have their tutorials separate from the actual gameplay, which I think is a brilliant strategy that I really wish Call of Duty had done. Because in Call of Duty, there's a whole campaign, and a lot of people play the campaign, but the first like two or three chapters of every campaign on every single game that Call of Duty has come out with is like, oh, now you move forward, now you crouch. This is the button that you use, and I'm sitting there going like, I wanted to play the game, not have someone like hold my dick while I pee.
It's one thing I'll tell you with the Advanced Warfare is you'll have the segments throughout the entire game. We're like, hey, you got a new item. Let's teach you how to use it.
Right.
Yeah, see, and that always bugged me. It's like I understand that it kind of takes away from the flow if you put like, oh, here's a training segment, but at the same time, it makes it really great for anyone who wants to replay the campaign. Because that's my biggest thing that keeps me from playing the earlier episodes. It's like, well, the earlier episodes were really interesting, but there's so much hand-holding and like really obviously simple stuff that I didn't need to know. And they made the first levels always really easy. So like, there's no point in going and playing back the first 2 episodes because it's more of me sitting there rolling my eyes than it is me actually enjoying the level.
Unless, of course, you're Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, in which case it's that fucking badass little training segment, in which case you're competing for best time, and it's fucking awesome.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Can I
I
say
think I had
something?
I had a time of like 101, I think.
Okay, the Johns are fighting over screen time now.
Back up. No, what were you going to say, John?
I was gonna say, I think about if that tour didn't exist, I don't think Call of Duty would be as successful as it is now.
True.
Oh yeah, because it kind of opens it up to the mainstream appeal. Is somebody running the stream in the background? Because I'm.
Yeah, that's why I commented in the comments. There's like an echo going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's.
I got my shit paused.
I'm actually playing a game in the background.
Right. Like usual.
Hey, John, on the stream itself, plus pause.
If that tour didn't exist, I don't think Call of Duty would be as successful as it is now.
True.
Yeah, see.
True.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
John.
This
Yeah,
is-
Marco in chat said Shadow Mordor Game of the Year. Yeah, we did say that was our Game of the Year last year, but it's one of the things where it kind of came down to that winning by default because we couldn't really make up our mind on anything else. As far as personal games of the year go, I'd give it to Stick of Truth.
Let
And
me
I would've
also
given it
point out that half the reason why Shadow of Mordor became as popular as it did was because of that whole scandal whereby a whole bunch of people were going, oh, the game's really great, it's really great, while there was all this shit happening in the background.
Right.
And so you had the
this
Streisand
is the weird
effect.
thing about that game, right? They did all that back-assward fucking shit with the YouTubers and everything like that.
It's
But they really
unnecessary.
didn't have to. The game
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
It's like you guys didn't have any faith in your product. How shitty is that?
Right.
Right.
Like, not granted, not everyone's gonna like it, and that's fine.
Right.
But you had zero faith in your product to the point you had to pay people to speak good about it.
Right, and that's the thing. I think that's where a lot of the controversy came from because it was legitimately a decent product. It could have carried itself on its own merits.
It could have, but I don't think it would have gotten
Yeah.
the same publicity, which is
Well,
my
I don't know.
point.
I mean,
In other words,
you got the crossover with the Lord of the Rings crowd.
Very true, but given that, at least within our group of people, within the people, the 10 of us who did that game review, I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to lay down money right now, which it wouldn't matter because we need a crystal ball. So I'm going to lay down $20,000. It says, fuck it, $1 million. It says, if this whole controversy hadn't happened, and if they had just like not said anything to the YouTubers and just released the game, that we would have actually voted for the Stick of Truth in the end.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys ended up voting for what you did.
Yeah, I don't even remember how.
I
it
wasn't
got
even there.
Yeah, I think.
Actually,
Yeah,
Jason,
God,
Remy voted on your behalf.
Yeah, she voted for Stick of Truth, but it just didn't
Good.
carry through.
All right.
For
Now,
my-
see, Shovel Knight or Binding of Isaac would have been mine. They're both excellent games, and
I'm still torn whether or not I chose the right game for MZS's Game of the Year.
what'd you choose?
I chose Stick of Truth, but
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Binding of Isaac is a strong competitor.
It really is, isn't it, man?
Well, for me, it's Smash Bros.
Oh, and go to mindlesszombiesstudios.com and read my review. Binding of Isaac.
Well, if you want to put it in the chat.
Yeah, if you guys want to just drop links to everything, want me to add to the description, do it in the group chat, and I'll put it to the description.
All right.
Exactly.
Coco.
And to be fair, it's not entirely Daryl's review.
It isn't?
I did add the ending part, buy this game.
Oh,
kinda
yeah.
thing.
Well,
And
you
I
should-
did the screenshots.
Yeah. And I figured I'd leave that shit up to you because, I mean,
It's easier to do on PC anyway.
well, I wrote the review, and I didn't, I mean, I figured, but I like that you put, don't buy this game if you want to not burn in hell for all the joyous sacrilege. That was good. But yeah. So have we established what this sound is? Because it's really, really distracting.
I haven't heard it in a bit.
I can hear it.
No.
It sounds like there's a conversation going in the background of someone's house.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Hold on just a second.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to the next segment. Daryl, you know where to go with this. Go ahead and talk about the free games for PlayStation coming up in January.
I gotta grab the link. Oh fuck! I closed that. Yeah. So, let me grab the link here. I had it up and then fucking Firefox crashed on me.
This is how you don't do your job, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, technical difficulties abound.
Preparation? Who heard of that?
Yeah, what's that shit?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Okay, so it looks like PlayStation Plus owners this January, I believe next Tuesday, are getting Infamous First Light for the PS4. It's a standalone expansion to Infamous Second Son. It's pretty fun. And there's a game called The Swaffer where you're using a cloning gun to solve puzzles in hopes of getting yourself off a creepy space station. And on the PS3, you're going to get Prototype 2 and DuckTales Remastered. And Vita owners will be able to grab Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition and a platformer called Whoa Dave. And I'm not sure what the hell that is, but
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, Dave's not here, man. But yeah. So there's some good stuff, some good bounty on the to be had on the various systems. And as always, even if you don't have like me right now, I only have a PS4. I still make it a point to download or to add everything to my cart for the Vita and the PS3 as well. Because as long as your account is active, you can access those if and when somewhere down the road you get one of the systems you don't have. So it's worth snagging everything, and yeah, that should be going live this Tuesday unless Sony gets hacked again.
Oh, speaking of which, they did you talk about that? They
I was gonna
are
mention
reimbursing people.
Basically,
Well, as much as they can. They're giving people 5 days added to their membership, so
right.
it's something.
Yeah. I mean,
But they should do that.
Well, that's good if you were actually affected by it and had the account.
Right.
So should we go on and talk about what's free for Xbox Live in January?
Yeah, go for it.
Pain and sorrow.
Yeah, that's a given though. Like, except if you're using the controller. Anyway, speaking of which, at first on the list is actually I think it was agreed as a Kinect game, right, Daryl?
Yeah. It's a game by Swery, guy behind Deadly Premonition and, oddly enough, Tomba 2.
This game is D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die.
I think you can use a controller for that.
You can. It was originally built around Kinect, though, and apparently that's kind of where it shines, because it's so batshit crazy.
Yeah, like even the description actually makes it sound pretty intriguing. And remember, you guys can get this for free next month, so keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Or this month sometime. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to kick on to being free, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
can play
time-traveling detective has to solve his wife's murder before he can prevent it. Use his supernatural ability to dive into the world of the living past by touching artifacts called mementos to find out the truth behind his wife's death. I don't know, it sounds interesting. I can't imagine I'll even finish it though. Like the art style's all right. The the description sounds interesting, but I don't know. It's all going to come down to really how it plays and everything.
It looks like a Telltale game.
And that's what I'm saying. Is the art style? It has that almost hand-drawn aesthetic to it.
Kind of cel-shaded kind of deal.
Yeah.
Alright. What else?
Then for Xbox 360, you can get your hands on MX versus ATV Live. Never played that one. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played an MX versus
It's
ATV
decent.
game. Is it decent?
Yeah, it's a ATV, fucking racing game.
Yeah. See, I haven't played one since Unleashed. Then you can also get your hands on. This is a must if you have not played this game yet, and it's kind of shitty that I already own it. But at the same time, if you haven't played this game yet, The Witcher 2: Assassin of Kings.
Nice.
I couldn't get into that game.
Really?
But if you really want to play it right, play it on PC.
Well, yeah, you
Well,
play on
it's like-
PC, you get all the extra content and shit, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
You
I
can
got-
tell it was made for PC.
got a little bit more information about Whoa Dave. It's if you like the Bit Trip series, it's by those folks, and it looks like a weird little platformer. Looks pretty cool actually. But yeah, if you like the Bit Trip stuff, snag it. It's free. Whoa Dave. Now that I've thoroughly derailed the conversation, let's get this train back on track so I can wave my dick. Yeah. Somebody's making weird mic noises now.
I had something we could talk about. Okay. What are some of your guys' most anticipated titles of this year? Like, what's that game that every time you hear it even uttered, you're like, oh, I can't wait. Like, it just gets you fucking drooling. What is it?
Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, if that makes it out, I'm kind of looking forward to the new Arkham Knight or whatever it is.
I'll be
I don't know.
honest.
I've been out of the
Nothing.
loop.
Really? Nothing this year has you interested?
Nope.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I won't be able to play it.
Why not?
Don't have a PS4, and I guarantee
That game will come to PC. I guarantee
It's coming to
it will.
PC. It's already been said, but I guarantee my PC is not good enough to run it. And I'll be honest, I'm getting sort of burnt out on these randomized things.
Procedurally generated thing.
Yeah, I just want, for once, a good, solid storyline that I can give a shit about.
Could I mention this one game? It's a Kickstarter game called Hyperlight Drifter.
I've heard
Hyperlight
that
Drifter.
before.
It's supposed to be like a Diablo Zelda type game. The
Oh.
art style looks really fucking cool.
Let me
The-
grab a
That's
link
what
for the
you-
folks in the chat.
Yeah, you guys can give out more than one game that you anticipated for, by the way.
Yeah.
I did mention Mortal Kombat X.
You
Yes,
did.
you did.
That does look pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Mortal Kombat. Like, that's my default fighting game. Like, we're all gonna get together as MMZS and play some fucking words, and play some Skullgirls at some point. So I know I'm gonna get my ass handed to me there, but I also haven't spent any time on the game, so
Right.
kind of to be expected.
I'm
I'll be
interested.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big Mortal Kombat fan, but honestly, it feels like, yeah, there's a lot of new shit in X, but none of it's really grabbed me that much.
Right.
Like,
I do
think,
like the generational stuff, like the idea
Oh,
that you
not
can fight
just
across
that, but
generations.
I really like the ability to have different movesets for each character.
you mean
like,
like they did in,
Raiden-
Deadly Alliance,
Um,
Deception, and Armageddon?
So I actually got to play
No, not like that. Not when you hit a bumper. This is actually like you go into the fight, and this moveset is like, he can use his specials in a different way. Like you have like Trap Raiden, you have
Yeah, I saw like the Kano video for it, and I was like, holy shit, Kano's actually a viable character again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like they
But-
give you different movesets for each character, so it's one of the things where I think it's really going to change things up to the extent of what's the word I'm looking for? You're not really going to have that many OP characters unless, of course, you're playing as Goro from the fucking pre-order, in which case you're an ass and I hate you.
Yeah.
They're going to release that free later on, trust me. Because they did this thing with Tekken Tag 2 as well.
But it feels to me also like the fighting game genre is starting to get a little oversaturated with the old crowd.
Right.
You know, another Mortal Kombat, another iteration of Street Fighter 4. Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and there's been, at least that I've seen, not as many really good new IPs.
So Jason. Okay, I'm here.
Excuse me.
I can hear my voice.
Right.
You tell me you're not looking forward to Hotline Miami 2.
No, honestly, I have a hard time with twin stick shooters because my hands are disabled. Like, I can barely play Binding of Isaac.
But it's,
I see. I kind of already gave mine out throughout the episodes, but I guess I can go ahead and go again. Witcher 3 is on that list without a doubt. That game it's one of the things where the only thing we've had to really view how good it looks is E3, but CD Projekt Red has been pushing this thing back and to keep doing it, and I really hope that it comes out and just blows us all away.
I'll be honest, that's the closest one for me, but I haven't beat the first 2 Witcher games yet, so I'm just like, whatever, I'll get it eventually.
See, neither have I. Like, it's one of the things where I played Witcher 2, I never beat it. I picked it up way late, so it's one of the things where the game came out around the same time, maybe it was like a month or two before Skyrim. And I was like, I was such a goddamn Bethesda fanboy at the time that I, was like, fuck it, I'll wait for Skyrim because it'll be a better game. At least that was my thought, right? Now that I've actually played it, I was like, holy shit, what was I thinking? Like, this game is just... It's one of the things where Skyrim's a great game, but it's not. I've heard it described like this, and it's really the best description you can give of most Bethesda games, anyway, as far as the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series goes. It is a vast ocean with the depth of a puddle.
Yeah.
Like, there's no depth to the world. You can even kind of tell that as you're going around and completing things. Like, you get nobody. Okay, you'll become Archmage, right?
Yeah.
Nobody will recognize you as Archmage. They're all just referred to you as that guy forever. The most you'll ever be known for
except for the people at the
Dragonborn.
college.
Yeah.
Outside of
Most
the little sphere of influence, nothing you do really matters.
Yeah. And like, oh, you get caught by the cops. There's your influence right there. That's all it chalks up to, is a little bit of renown there.
I checked out for a moment. What are we talking about?
How Skyrim has little to no depth.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Most
even
of
the
those games do
combat
have
is just really shoddy. And
It's just the illusion of
Go ahead.
depth.
Hey, what
Yeah.
looking forward to Kirby?
Huh? What about Kirby?
New Kirby game?
There's a new Kirby game, huh?
Yeah, Rainbow Curse.
Oh yeah. I liked the DS version just fine.
Yeah, I got to play it.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to.
I'm going to be honest, I've never played a Kirby game. The
I was
closest
surprised to
got
find out it's going retail. Like, I thought that was going to be a downloadable only game, and it's apparently getting a retail box copy, so it's
That
interesting.
was like, I couldn't believe it happened whenever Minecraft did the retail copy of the game.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it showed a shit ton.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But it does look cool. I liked it. For those who don't know, you guide Kirby around with your stylus. You draw a little rainbow, and it'll follow it. And it's controlled completely with the stylus, and it's really cool.
Is that Yoshi game coming out next year?
What's that?
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
Oh, Yoshi?
It's still coming for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's still happening. Did I ever say a release date? Because the game looks interesting. It was one of those things where, whenever they first showed it off, I can't say I was that excited for it. Or when they first announced it, when they actually showed the gameplay, I was like, that actually is kind of cool.
Oh, hey, I don't want to derail, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jason, they released a teaser for Ant-Man, and they're going to be doing the trailer this Tuesday during Agent Carter.
I'm sorry, you lost me when you said Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well,
I've never seen a Marvel movie I could give less. I could not care about that movie.
yeah,
if you
sure,
paid me.
but you'll watch it. You know you will.
I have faith in Marvel Studios.
You have faith in Marvel
I
Studios.
have faith in Marvel Studios. I have no faith in Ant-Man, period. When the character's greatest point is the fact he was a wife beater, who looked at this and said, I want to watch a 2.5 hour movie about this?
Oh yeah, I like it.
Even though he's, not the main character and they're going to...
It's funny how this is coming out after Avengers Ultron. Like, they went from pretty much Avengers versus Skynet to the guy that shrinks. It's kind of funny.
Well, I don't know. If they can manage to work the same humor in that they did Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm sure I'll care. But right now, it's kind of up in the air.
I'm not going to pay to see it, so...
I really wish Edgar Wright was still directing it.
Yeah, he...
See,
And-
that would have made me watch it.
But apparently he backed out because, like, he's been working on... This has been a labor of love for him for, like, a long time now.
5
And
years.
Yeah, and Marvel wanted it to fall in line with, their whole shared timeline a little bit
not
better
even
than-
that. They wanted to hamstring him big time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they wanted to take the creative control out of his hands and have it conform more to their shared universe rather than let him do his own thing. And I don't know. It sucked, but and that's why I'm kind of wary about the movie because if you think about it, it's like it was rushed. Like after,
Less than a year.
Yeah, and after he dropped out, they went through like 2 or 3 directors before they finally
week.
settled on somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point where they went through 3 directors in a week.
Right. So, I'm apprehensive, but I'm also kind of that's actually why I'm eager to see what they've made of it, So, just it's that curiosity, like watching a train wreck or something, which could happen right outside my window. And then I'll
And it
wave
would
my
probably
dick
be
at it.
more entertaining than Ant-Man.
And then I'll wave my dick at the train wreck. That's sad commentary. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that since it's a comic book related thing. Yeah, what's up?
I don't know. I was trying to think. Besides No Man's Sky, which I already said I was looking forward to,
Yeah.
what else is coming out next year?
The hell if I know.
Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh yes, actually, oh my god! As much as like I'm against the whole pre-ordering philosophy, GameStop got me there. That Red Hood thing. Oh my god!
What is it, a Red Hood?
Yeah, you
It's
get to
the Red Hood storyline.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they give you I don't who knows how many missions. It's probably like a fucking mission, but I don't care.
It's probably
Right.
just challenge rooms, probably. Nothing
Yeah.
like, not like a campaign or anything.
I'm jaded on that.
Oh no,
after
they've
the
already
whole-
said that it is. They're giving
After
you
Origins?
it's going to be like a little bit of Red Story campaign, or Red Hood campaign. It's the same thing
No.
that Harley Quinn's getting.
So it's like,
no,
they
no,
actually
Daryl.
What's up?
Well, actually, what killed it for me was Arkham City.
Oh, yeah?
Having to, well, I think it was pre-order to get Catwoman.
Yeah.
Well, no,
And if
they,
you pre-order, literally a third of the game makes no fucking sense.
yeah, because it's just like she just like shows up randomly. She's just all beat up and tore up and shit. It's like, what the fuck happened to her?
Yeah.
No, you have
Yeah.
to buy the game new. Like, it was kind of like the online pass, right?
Yeah,
So
if you
you-
picked the game up new, it came with it for free.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Which is
was
just
kind of
another attempt to fuck over the secondary market.
yeah, which
Pretty
I have
much,
I have no sympathy for. I mean, my take on that is if you're not paying the creators for the product, then you get what you get on the, you know? Like, I mean, I'm not saying people shouldn't buy used because like fuck, I do it. You know,
Yeah, the
I'm just
game was
saying,
sports. So,
right.
It's the same thing for me that was with Mass Effect 3. Even
Right.
you, I'm not going to pay for a third game being missing.
Sure. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, you got to make that informed decision as a consumer. What bugs me are the folks who don't know that buying used gets them a neutered game. You know, like that should be. I mean, fucking GameStop makes a good chunk of their change off the used market.
Yeah, and to say I worked at
that's how they make
GameStop.
their
dude.
money.
Right. They should
Yeah,
be
it's one of those
obligated to
things
put a
where-
sticker on there
where,
that says this game is not content complete unless you
Yeah.
buy the.
Yeah,
Shell out
and they
another
don't.
$10
It's one of the things.
for
Look,
block
if you
deals.
walk in and you say, "I want a copy of this game," they will say, like, "All right, well, we got it new for this much," and then like, or
$5 less for the
Yeah.
used one.
we got it used for $10 cheaper.
Right.
And if you bring it back within 30 days, you can get your money back and put it towards something else. Yeah. How does that sound?
Right.
Like, you fucking assholes. Just give me my new game and fuck yourselves, you fucking dude.
And here's the thing, though. Like most folks, like they'll defend their right to buy used till the day they die, and that's great. But let's just call it what it is. It's a glorified rental system, and you know it. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like when you go in and you buy a game, you play it in 2 days, and you flip it for another one. That's you using the system as a glorified fucking rental, and that's fine. But don't get all fucking high and mighty about it when
Companies go under, or
Yeah,
fucking
or
your
institute
favorite franchise, or your
I
favorite
hate to
franchise
take the
goes
wind out of
under.
your sails, but I'm going to.
yeah,
What
you're
about
gonna
those
try.
of us who can't afford it new?
That's fine, and that's fine. But you're not. You see,
Yeah,
you're not.
that's
Your
that's
your
freaking-
your business transaction is between you and GameStop in that case, not you and the publisher. So the
Here's the
publisher
thing.
owes you nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, but
needs-
GameStop does owe me the warning that you're not
Yes,
buying a full
absolutely.
game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're
I agree with
saying.
that wholeheartedly. Like it should be in a big fucking bright letters on a sticker on the front of the box. This game is not feature complete, especially if they're going to push the used copy over the new one. You know.
It was like whenever the new consoles came out, it's like them fucking things should have had a dot like on the commercial. Hey, requires a day one update. This thing will not work out of the box without internet,
Right.
and it didn't. Like nowhere on the damn, or like maybe in the small fucking writing on the commercial it says it, but it's like, dude, people are gonna go drop 500, 400 to $500 in these new things, and if they don't have internet, they're fucked. Like I had
Right.
people I worked with that were wanting to get these things for their fucking kids for Christmas. And they were like, oh yeah, I want to get my kid the PS4 and all this shit. And I'm fucking telling them like, oh yeah, by the way,
Right.
make sure you have internet connection because that thing does not work out of the box. And they're like, what?
Yeah. I do
No, that's
agree.
the Xbox One. I don't think.
What's
No,
up?
because I was gonna say I think the PS4 works offline, but like
Oh no, it works offline, but I'm saying like out of the box, day one, you had to do the day one update. They both.
I think this
required-
Xbox One had that problem.
Oh
Because
no, they both did.
Yeah.
they,
So did the Wii
Yeah.
U actually.
They were both legitimately bricks whenever you bought them your first day.
yeah, actually, I think we had that thing as well.
Well, actually, you know what? I The PS4 may have played games, but there was a lot of other apps that didn't work. Like, fuck, what was it? There was a bunch of other shit that just wouldn't work without it. I can't remember what it was, though.
What's actually interesting, during like the blackout, I could still use Netflix on my PS4. Which is interesting. Like the app still works, but like the whole rest of the network is fucked.
Oh, yeah. You talking about whenever it went down for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. We were in a really good conversation. Let's backtrack a little. What the fuck was that? 'Cause
I was talking about
we were talking about
Yeah, just
the whole negative pre-order and all that shit against it.
well, yeah. I mean, my whole take on it is like I totally get like if you can't afford a new copy and there's a substantial discount on the used one, I get it. But when we're talking a difference of $5, you can't convince me that you can afford the $55 game and you couldn't afford the $60 game. You know what I'm saying? In that case, my whole thing is like you're obviously using it as a glorified rental system, and that's okay. But in the case when your purchase, and this doesn't apply to you, Jason, so don't get me wrong, when your purchase is between you and the GameStop, when you buy used, that's the business interaction. It's you and GameStop. In that case, I don't think the publisher should be on the hook to deliver you the full experience necessarily. Like, if you want the full product, if you want the publisher support, you buy new. And if you don't, then you get the crappy shit like the online passes or the incomplete game that requires you to shell out $10 more for a third of the.
Yeah.
content.
I'm totally against online passes. Like, there have been games that have come out with no online play at all, and they had online passes. Like Kingdoms of Amalur. Like, fucking Christ. Why does that have an online pass? The game... And it was really fucked up. Exactly. What's really fucked up is if you go... Hold on, John. If you go into 360 right now, right? Well, maybe now it's been discounted because they've been really good on trying to get all that shit lowered down in price. But at the time, I think I looked, and it was $49.99. But to play it, you had to have a $10 season pass.
Yeah.
So you were still paying full price for the game because you needed that season pass to even be able to play the game. Like, why was that an okay thing to do?
Right,
This kind of goes
That's
back
not
to
okay.
Activision, to EA being the worst company in the world. No,
Right.
But I don't know. Like, it's just they did their own backward ass shit, and that was EA's problem there.
Right.
So the season passes, as far as I'm concerned, like I agree with you almost on everything else, Daryl.
Yeah.
But the season passes.
Oh no, I don't. I think season passes suck. Don't get me wrong. I just
Yeah.
the necessity for that shit comes out of us, using GameStop and the like as glorified rental services, and then pretending like that doesn't have any consequences.
But
I'm
at the
gonna
same
say,
time, though, I feel terrible for the people who go up there and
Yeah.
trade in their entire library of games.
yeah, and then they get like
the entire-
enough for one game.
Yeah, or no, even then they get like enough for half of a new game. It's such
Right.
bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give you $30 for your stack of 10 fucking games that all came out this year. It's like, dude, come on.
You're so better off going on eBay. Just saying that.
What's that?
That's where the mom
yeah.
and pops are better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I can take stuff up to, and this is a plug for my buddies up in Longmont. There's a store called Game Force in Longmont. It's run by actually a dude who had a credit on the Ratchet and Clank collection.
I love that collection.
Yeah. His name is Mike Plude. You'll see him in there if you let the credits roll. He's a good guy. They tend to give way more. Like if you have to trade your shit in, that's the place to go because they're good. They treat you well. They'll give you, a decent amount. I mean you're almost always, no matter what you trade in a position to walk out of the store with some nice stuff in return.
And even better, when you trade stuff in these mom and pops, there's 9 times out of 10 you can get stuff that's not just from the current generation.
Exactly. Like these guys go way back to the fucking Atari days, dude. Like it's a fucking wonderland for collectors, dude. Like, oh man, it's awesome. But Ryan, yeah, I wanted to go back to the online pass thing. Like I don't support it in practice, but I understand the necessity for them, back then.
It's dead now.
Yeah, it's dead now, but and that's because we bitched about it. But my whole thing is like consumers, we've reached a point in fucking history where like people have taken the customer's always right to an insanely like overblown level. I mean, yeah, the customer's always right, and companies are wise to to take them into consideration, obviously, but our purchasing habits do have consequences, and even if we don't care, we have to acknowledge them. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting there
Yeah, I
and
get
saying, I'm gonna buy used exclusively, and then think that doesn't have any effect on the on the fucking market. It does. I mean, you don't have to care. You can
No, I
continue
totally get
buying.
it. It's one of them things where we saw a total fall away of the middle market. What was it? Not 2010, but I don't know, between 2010 and last year, I think, is when THQ went under, right? Or the year before?
It was about, I think, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, we're seeing a total fall away of the middle ground market. That's where this is going to kind of tie up into some newer things. And that's kind of where that we saw like a rise of the indie game and the indie developer scene, because they were the ones who were being forced to step up and fill that middle ground market.
Well, not just that, but it was the whole wonder of them being able to market shit without having to be under a publisher's thumb.
Oh yeah, and that was another thing as well. But I'm saying like it was one of the things where THQ who would come out and they would release a game for $30 and they would be able that was fine for them. You know, they could do that. But at the same time, you can't have just for an example, I'll say Activision. They're gonna come out with Call of Duty or whatever, and they've spent millions in making this game, millions in marketing and advertising, and they can't just afford to sell the game for that cheap.
Right.
Whereas, THQ, they didn't put anything into their marketing. The game may look like shit, may play a little shit, but hey, you know what? It has a dedicated fan base, and that's all that really matters.
Well, part of that becomes the fact that people are spending so much money on the advertising and shit, and it's not running off of merit.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, a substantial chunk of the the budget does go to advertising and stuff now.
Most of it goes to advertising.
What's that?
Most of the money goes to advertising.
Yeah, right. And then of course there's the inflation due to inflation.
Just out of curiosity, somebody Google searches for me real fast. The most expensive game ever developed. I'd love to know.
I think it's GTA 5.
It was it's either one of those or the. I think it was. Yeah, actually, that sounds about right. We could do the Google for you.
Modern Warfare 2, actually.
Modern Warfare 2?
And then Destiny. There's like a top five. I'm pulling up a list. Modern Warfare 2 was the most expensive at its time, but in the past 4 years, we've had games that have completely wrecked it.
Wow.
So I'm on Wikipedia right now.
But the thing is, $200 million for Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
There are fucking Hollywood movies that don't cost that much to make.
Right.
Oh, no.
And certainly don't gross that much.
Oh, exactly.
And then
this is where it's going
Destiny.
to become that video games are the #1 source of entertainment because they managed to bring in so much cash, and it's just an insane amount.
Right. But to be fair, though, for your movie, your ticket's only costing you, $15 as opposed to
$60. Yeah.
By the way, the enormous amount of money that these companies make, especially the AAA titles, the enormous amount of money that they make doing these games. I think we discussed last week about how Ghost pulled in $1 billion in sales.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
It's one of the reasons why I really don't care about the whole used video game debate.
Well,
I'm
that's
pro
one game.
I'm pro people getting used games, and here's why. You can make that same argument for people buying used cars and used anything.
Nope.
There's a lot of people who buy used games because they want the cheaper prices. They don't really care about getting the perfect cover and all the little inserts and all that kind of shit, and they will choose to get that cheaper game because they have less money or because they simply don't care. It's the same thing with renting video games. When you allow the used games, when you allow the rental video games, you get more exposure.
Nobody's vilifying the practice. We're just saying these things have consequences. You can't hold up one of the biggest, most Call of Duty's an outlier, dude. It doesn't traditionally. I mean, no other series traditionally sells that much, so you can't hold that up as a paragon and say, "This game is why I'm okay with this thing."
There's a reason why
but that
they kinda
game
set the
also funds
standard.
everything else.
But look, there's a reason why they kind of set that standard of the yearly release words. All right, but there's a reason why they kind of set that standard for game developers nowadays, and it's because they've kind of become that titan and a lot of people want to see them taken down. Like that was the big thing with Titanfall. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, this will be the game that kills Call of Duty." It didn't happen, of
To kill
course.
Call of Duty. Get over it.
Right.
No, I was saying it didn't happen, of course, but that's what everybody wanted from it.
Right.
See, I don't get the whole Call of Duty hatred. I think is irrational and stupid. Call of Duty,
Yeah.
all the sales for Call of Duty fund all these other projects and all these other games that are also great. And on top of that, who gives a fuck if Titanfall overthrows Call of Duty? You think that people aren't going to make Titanfall knockoffs every single year after
Right.
that? Like, get over it.
Right.
Oh, no, I get what you're saying, and I'm just I'm stating the argument that was made back when the game
Right,
first
right.
came out.
No, I heard the hype too, and I was like, it doesn't matter.
Hey,
It just doesn't.
check this out, guys. I just found a list of the most expensive games ever developed
Yeah.
with adjusted for inflation. I'm just going to go through the top
Oh, there you
5.
go.
Kind of
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. 5 is The Old Republic at $210 million. 4 is actually Final Fantasy VII. Original cost of $145 million. 100 which was straight marketing.
Right.
Adjusted
Oh
for
my God.
inflation, it's $213 million.
Oh.
GTA 5 is $268 million. Modern Warfare 2 is $275 million adjusted, and Destiny comes in at $500,000. I'm wondering if people that invested in Destiny are just kicking themselves in the ass.
Wait, did you say Destiny's 500,000 and it's in the top?
500 million.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Sorry, all of it's in
Yeah,
Yeah,
millions.
numbers don't. That shit don't make sense. But yeah. Just going back to what you were saying, man. Like, I just wanted to make it clear: nobody's vilifying the practice. It's just we got to be able to, stand aside and say, like, we got to be conscious. Is all I'm saying. Do what you do.
Conscious of I don't understand the point of being I'm a fan of understanding why
Right.
things are the way things are.
Sure.
So I'm not going to necessarily
Okay.
but
Here's
saying
the
like, oh, this is a problem. The used game market, especially like me, there's games that I have right now that I would not have otherwise experienced except for buying them secondhand from someone else. I just wouldn't have had them. They would have just
Right.
gone in the trash.
My whole thing though is we've seen more studios shut down in the last decade than we had, prior, in the years prior to that. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're gonna want to like see these games continue to be developed,
I
just be
don't think
conscientious.
it's that though. I genuinely don't believe that just putting DRMs into the games and forcing everyone
Nobody's
to buy
saying
them.
that's okay.
I don't
It's
think
just
that'll
a
happen.
consequence of it.
But John wanted to say something.
I was gonna say, going to the retailers, like the reason why GameStop pushes used games so much is because like they barely make anything from new games. Like most of their profit comes from used.
Yeah.
All right, John, I got a list for you. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in group chat. This is the list of the top 10 selling Call of Duties.
Ooh, this should be interesting. I don't even know which one because they've just been getting bigger and bigger.
Number 1, Call of
Modern
Duty Modern
Warfare.
Warfare 3.
Nice.
Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops. Number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Number 4, Black Ops 2. Number 5, Modern Warfare 1. Number 6, World at War. Number 7, Call of Duty 3. Number 8, Call of Duty 2. Number 9, Call of Duty Finest Hour. Number 10, Call of Duty Roads to Victory.
Now, here's the thing: is this list is from October of 2013, so this does not include the sales from Ghosts or the sales from Advanced Warfare,
Advanced Warfare.
and it also doesn't include the updates for people who are still buying all these original games.
So, I know with Ghost they said their sales underperformed. They never said actually made $1 billion. So it's definitely under the first 4.
Let's see.
And if you really want, dude, okay, I got a list here of the top 10 best-selling games of 2014 as well.
This is
But
from
my only
VG
pain in the ass with it is it's not like in an order. It's just like, these games all did well,
Let's hear 'em.
All right, hold on, let me get back to the
Now,
list.
Ghost did sell $1 billion worth of games, just not in the original time frame that was announced. The original time frame they announced was for their sales to the retailers. So you're right on that. They didn't sell within the original 3 days. They didn't sell $1 billion worth of games to the consumer. But I guarantee you, within the past year, it's well over $1 billion at this point.
But that was also largely due to, or this, you can argue this. This is totally debatable, but a lot of this had to do, I think, with new consoles and people being willing to play anything.
I think it had
They
to
were
do with
like,
GTA 5, to be honest. I think GTA 5 had an effect on the sales of Ghosts.
Well, GTA 5, it came out last year, right before the consoles launched, right?
Yeah, it came out
Or was it
September.
the year before?
Came out 2 months before the new consoles.
Yeah, see, that was one of the things where, had we been a little wiser, we probably all would have held back because we knew console ports were coming, or knew newer console ports were coming.
I
But I think
don't know what the deal is with all the games, though, but some of the games I know that you can actually buy for one console and get it on both if you own both consoles.
Yeah, it was
I know that's true for Advanced Warfare, but I don't know any other games.
It was for Ghost as well.
Yeah.
And it was for Battlefield 4.
All right, but this is the list of the top 10 selling games of 2014. And I just looked at it. It is in chronological order. I just wasn't paying attention. Number 10, NBA 2K15. U.S. unit sales 1.6 million. Publisher 2K, genre sports, platforms Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, and PC.
Give us the name and the number. Don't give us all the other shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you the units sold and then I'll move on. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, Titanfall. Units sold 2 million. Now, these are all U.S. units. They're not countering in anything else sold across the globe. It's just U.S. At least that's from what I can tell from their numbers here. We got coming in at number 8, Super Smash Bros. 2.1 million. So that's kind of a surprise to me that, don't get me wrong, Smash Bros. Is a great game, but it surprises me that Titanfall was overtaken by it. But yeah, here's what it is, I guess. Call of Duty Ghost, 2.4 million. Now, that was just of this year, John. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it only came out. When did it come out?
Came out last year. It was last year's called.
Oh, it came out at the end of last year. Okay.
Number 6, Watch Dogs at 2.5 million. And then number 5, and this one I'm surprised actually isn't higher on the list, being what it is. Minecraft, 2.7 million.
Yeah, that is a very popular game. That seems to be more an underground game, though.
Right.
Like they never spend money on advertising. There's most of their advertising.
No, that game's popularity comes from word of mouth, and it's one of the things where a lot of people see it and they're like, "Oh, how is this a good game?" And then you play it at a friend's house and you're like, "Oh my god, I gotta get it."
And the thing, what the interesting thing about it though is there's no real story to it. It's the truest form of sandbox game, aside from just going outside and playing with the mud.
And it's one of the things where it's great for stoners because you can build the shit that comes to your wildest imagination.
Yeah, exactly. What I was gonna say is it makes it difficult to actually make a good advertisement for it because a lot of advertisements that you see is story-based advertisement. Like every single movie, they tease at a story. Every single game, they tease at a story, except for the ones that tease gameplay. But you can't. It's very difficult to tease Minecraft gameplay for 30 seconds. It's like, oh look, there's a sword that's hitting at a weird pixelated zombie. Oh, it's something that you have to play to get into and be like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, oh wow, fucking words again. It really is a game where I hate to say it's choose your own adventure, but it kind of is in that sense where you build your own story.
Yeah.
It's not ever the super intriguing story or anything like that, but it's more or less hey, I built this, it's mine.
And on top of that, you can actually go online, and there are whole communities of Minecraft players who, aside from having forums and having different servers that you can play on, there's people who create maps that you can load onto your game that have built-in adventures and built-in stories. They actually do that, and they actually have parkour-based maps that you can navigate and try to get to the end. They actually do that kind of shit, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of them things where I don't know. I think they did really well with that game, and the fact that they are continuously updating it is awesome.
Yeah,
but
they
I
have
also wonder if they'll ever do a Minecraft 2 because of the fact of how the game works with them ever updating kind of thing.
I mean, I don't what the game strategy or the game formula is very simple. Like, you have a character with a certain set of rules and a certain set of blocks that you can modify. I don't know if there's a version 2 really that would factor into this. Like, what if
That's
you
what
were to
I'm
make
saying. And I've talked to people about it. And they're like, oh, well, you can make everything look a little better and work on. I'm like, that would be Minecraft. Though.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the same.
The best you could do is texture packs, which they already support. So I don't know. Like, I think that game will never actually merit a Minecraft 2, which is fine with me. I just think it's I don't know. It's one of them, I don't know. It's just weird. All right,
the only thing that I could see
Number
pushing.
4.
Let me say this real quick though. I think the only way that I could see a Minecraft version 2 happening is if they rewrote the graphics engine and made a completely separate like not only graphic skins but like a completely new way of the graphics rendering in the first place. Like someone making almost a quote-unquote real-life version instead of just everything being all blocks.
Well, people have done that though. Like, look at Rust. Look at fucking. There's other better examples than Rust, but
The Forest.
that's just the one that comes to mind at the moment.
I'm talking beyond that, but yeah.
Forest is pretty interesting. I haven't played it.
That's what I'm saying. There are other games that do the realistic Minecraft thing. So it's one of the things where even if they were to do a 2, that market's already being filled by another game now.
Right, you'd have to go way beyond the current graphics packs in order to do that. But yeah. So number 4, you said number 4?
Yeah, number 4 is Madden NFL 2015. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh, I never did do the numbers for Madden. 2.9 million. Grand Theft Auto is 3.3 million. Number 2, Destiny sales 3.8 million. And this one, holy fuck. Yeah, Call of Duty's not going anywhere anytime soon, folks. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, 5.8 million.
Mm-hmm. That's right, bitches. Eat it up.
I would say just say the US, right?
Yeah, that's just US numbers.
Yeah, 'cause I think FIFA would be bigger than Madden. If you can.
Oh, I imagine so.
In Europe,
Because even then, like, that game, yeah, like 100%, like, that game would just annihilate the competition as far as sports games go. Like, it'd definitely push NBA off the list and leave Titanfall at number 10. I don't know where it would land on that list, but
You want to know about Titanfall? Is that I want to know which version sold the most.
What's up?
Which version of Titanfall do you think sold the most?
Oh, I mean, like Xbox One, 360, and PC.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can't find out.
Because they did like a month for the 360 version, and they're really trying to push us a system seller.
Well, apparently, because it was a different team, not even a different team, it was a whole other studio working on the 360 version than it was. Respawn made the Xbox One version. The 360 version was made by somebody totally different, and I'm pretty sure the PC version was Respawn as well, but I don't know, you guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong. Yeah, there seems to be no actual research done. Oh, here. This is just a GameFAQs thing, so this isn't really... Apparently 360 sold the most, which is actually not that surprising considering it was the most out there console as far as that game's concerned.
And you have to recall...
have that console in their hands than anything else at that time, you know?
Yeah, and I would also point out, like, we're getting to the point right now where the consoles, like, there's not a whole... It doesn't seem like, to me, there's a whole lot of places for the consoles to advance to. When we went from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, we were getting HD and a whole set of new a whole new set of stuff, like a whole new set of features.
Yeah, so now this generation, the big push is 1080-60.
Right, and that's like an thing for me. The leap in ability, just in graphics processing and what you could do from one console to the next between PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 is much bigger.
I want to interject. the way we're going, and it's happening slowly, but it's going to happen. And I hate to admit it because I am a console pleb. I love my controllers. I love my fucking home consoles, and them being simple and easy, and very just no buying graphics cards and video cards and bullshit to make my game run. But we are heading the way of PC. PC will eventually be just where you play games. I mean,
Well,
the consoles are going to die at some point. I don't think it'll happen soon, but it will.
I
don't
can't
think-
actually. I don't think so. Or you were gonna say something too, John?
I was gonna say I don't think that's gonna happen because otherwise shitty PC ports wouldn't exist.
Well, no, they would. You would just have Microsoft Game Studios would be developing strictly for PC.
See, and I don't see that happening because what we're seeing right now is especially with where you consider where cell phones are going, a lot of people I think are actually going to stop using PCs as much because your cell phone's essentially turning into a PC. I know people who are really tech savvy who they never use a computer. They do everything off their phone. They do their email, they do their Amazon shopping, like everything's off their phone. And the only thing that they touch that's even close to a computer, cell phone or the console.
I know, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, see, they all have their own great advances, right? The phone, you got it with you all the fucking time. You ever want to play a game? Guess what? You have it in your fucking pocket. The consoles, it's everything you need to make the game run. You don't got to go out and buy anything. You don't got to worry about checking system specs. It's just it's going to work, and you know it.
And that's
Well,
the thing, like,
unless there's something wrong and it needs patched, but that's not your fault. That's the console's set up to work. PCs, that's I think the big what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. John, words, come on.
Hey, everything I say is going to be disagreeing with you. So I'll let you tell your own news.
Right.
Hold on a
I
second.
give you a heads up, right? Before I'm gonna take off. So
Alright.
you guys have fun.
All right, man. I hope you feel
Later.
better.
Yeah, me too. It's been fucking like, yeah. I'll talk to you guys on the MZS thing later.
Yeah, do that.
All right, later.
All right, ciao. All right, so while Rye, you are stymied for words, this is in my mind the biggest attractors for console games. Is one, people are not everyone, but a lot of people are switching away from computers, which means that if they want to play video games, instead of buying a computer, setting it up, doing all the installs, all this shit over, like all the patches and all that shit, they can just go and get a console that costs cheaper and lets them play the same games, and there's no setup. I think that is the biggest advantage.
Yeah, I can understand your draw there, and that's what I was going to say.
I don't think that's going to go away.
And don't get me wrong, that's where consoles are definitely winning that race. But at the same time, and that's I think the biggest draw away from PC is the fact that there's actually a very big learning curve there too. Like people who play home consoles, they're so used to that setup and just knowing that they can throw a disc in and it work that whenever they go to PC and they realize, oh, now you got to look at graphics cards and drivers and all these other things. That's like, oh wow, and it's not a very easy community to get into. Like I know there's some communities out there who are really nice, and when you ask for help, they'll give it to you. But at the same time, if you wander into the wrong place and ask for help, you just got shit on, friend.
Well, let's look at this more scope if we can for a moment here. Your assertion was you think that eventually everyone's going to move to PC gaming, or it's going to move to PC gaming to the point where they just discontinue consoles.
It's going to happen slowly. Like I don't expect this to even be within the next 2 generations.
What do you think would cause that to happen? What's primary change?
The PC to be more not integral, but the PC to become easier for the everyday person to just pick up and know how to update. Like the Razer had that really good idea. It's just I don't know if they've even brought it to fruition yet. I think it was Project Christina, where it was like a computer made out of modules, where like you have like your graphics module, your solid
I did see that.
module,
Someone was trying to
like
do that with phones also. Someone was trying to do that with cell phones.
And that's what I'm saying though. Is imagine how easy if every computer was like that. To be like, oh, I need to get a new graphics card. Instead of taking the entire tower apart to put this new graphics card in, all you had to do was unplug one module and plug this new one in.
See, I can kind of see that, but at the same time, you're still not eliminating the main division between PC and console gaming, because even though people say like, oh, in the future we're going to have these possible technological advances. We've had the possibility, we've had the option for this kind of plug-and-play computer setup for a decade now. It just hasn't caught on because instead of making everything modular, which always will come at some kind of detraction. There will always be some kind of like thing that you give up to make it modular. But companies have decided, instead of doing that, because we don't feel there's a big thing, huge demand for that, what they instead have done is focus on continually making more and more progress with the technology itself, with making everything faster, smaller, smarter. In the future, it's entirely possible to have a computer that also has, like, you just plug in an Xbox game and it automatically boots up a secondary, what do you call it? It runs a secondary OS inside of it that just plays the game. Like, it's plausible for that to happen, but at the same time, I am more than sure that instead of doing that and basically splitting resources in the computer, they'll keep doing the computer the way it's been going, and they'll keep the console the way it's been going. I think whenever we look to the future, we have a real strong tendency to like over-integrate everything in our minds, which is why I've never seen a movie about the future that has actually been accurate when it comes to technology. If you guys don't remember, we're supposed to be having hoverboards right now.
Hey, don't talk shit on a hoverboard. I will stab you.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to have a hoverboard. I would be down with that shit. You would not see me here. I would give up video games completely if it meant getting a hoverboard.
Whoa! I don't know about that.
Supposed to be watching Terminators right now.
Because I'm going to say, if we got hoverboards, then apparently we're also jacking ourselves into the Matrix. So, video games are amazing at that point. So.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Unless there's some kind of fundamental shift in the way that computing happens, I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, maybe something's going to happen down the road that'll change my mind. Like maybe someone will find a way to make modular computers without sacrificing anything. And believe me, there's a physical sacrifice because when you make things modular, you make it really, really difficult to get things into the places that they need to be. Like it's literally a physical space problem, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You kind of run the same place whenever you like, all right, I want to get this graphics card, but my tower is only so big.
Right, and you basically have to standardize everything. When you standardize everything, you take away the ability of people to specialize, and specialization is basically how our culture has gotten to where it is. That's basically why we have to
you have a lot of people who have like these really amazing custom PC rigs who are just, they're out there, man.
Like the liquid-cooled CPUs and the dual SLI video card. Like, you can't do that if everything's modular. You just, in other words, modular is a convenience that comes at a great restriction.
You almost, with the modular thing you're saying, you set a standard bar for PCs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would destroy, in other words, the character traits that would lead to...
I understand what you're saying. That would kind of destroy what PC gaming is right now.
Yeah, in essence. I mean, if you make the human race such that modular gaming is a thing or modular PCs is a thing, you would also eliminate the exact same strains that would cause us to have Linux, and that would cause us to have Apple versus PC. That would cause us to have all these different little branches where we explore different kinds of technologies and bring them into the fold and better the human race. Not to get too grand scale on you here, but if someone found a way. And I mean, people have done this. There have been examples of people hitting upon winning designs all throughout history. My favorite examples are with guns. Like the 911, the pistol in the 911 is a winning design. Someone just made that design and it just fucking stuck. Same thing with the AK-47, which is totally not gaming related. But those are designs that someone created that were just so perfect that they lasted for going on 50, 60 years now. Maybe someone will do that with modular gaming. I don't know. Could it happen? Possibly. Not on my betting pool, if you will.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
But I still love you.
Like I said, I don't. What?
I said I love you still. Don't worry.
But I don't know. I could still see consoles going a different route. Or either that, or they're going to finally find their route because, like you said at the beginning of this whole little rant, they are kind of struggling to determine what they are right now.
Yes, that is true.
Like we were talking about, the PS2 to the PS3 and the Xbox, I almost said Xbox One, the OG Xbox to the 360, they had a bar to jump there. Whereas this time they really didn't have a bar other than no, I can't even say like the 1080-60 thing that was already happening last gen. So other than graphical fidelity, what was the real bar you had to jump there?
There wasn't one. I mean, it's you. Right now we're hitting a spot where in the back. Let me start over.
Hold on, real fast. Before you, I'm just going to interject. Would you be willing to agree that this generation is kind of like graphics over gameplay?
No.
Nah, I would say because for the 360 over the Xbox and the PS3 over the PS2, there was a huge improvement in graphics. I think that I would agree that there's been a slight obsession with graphics. I mean, TV makers have been scrambling to find the next big thing. HD was a huge thing. Like once they came up with the idea of HD,
make 4K a new thing.
Yeah, they tried it. Well, first they tried 3D, then they tried 4K, and 4K is kind of fizzling. And they're also trying curved screens, which I think will also fizzle. But like, I can't tell you for certain yet. But they've been trying all kinds of new things. It's the same thing. I imagine it's possibly a similar scenario going on with the new Xbox and the newest PS4, because Xbox was like, how can we improve our system even more so it's the same, huge monumental shift between the Xbox 360 and the Xbox as it will be for this new system, which is why they tried to make it the all-in-one entertainment system and why they were pushing their the video camera thing. They were trying to make it a bigger deal. They're trying to make the next thing bigger.
Well, the thing is, like, were they already pushing the 360 for that as well? Is all-in-one entertainment thing?
Not so much, because the Xbox 360 does not have Blu-ray, and it can only play standard movies, if I recall correctly. Whereas the PS3, it was able to do Blu-ray, and it can even do Blu-ray 3D movies. So actually, I think in a sense, PS3 figured that one out, and because Sony owns Blu-ray, they were able to like really make that happen. And Microsoft saw that because people were buying PlayStation 3s not just for the gameplay, but also for the Blu-ray capacity.
Yeah, a lot of people were actually buying them as a cheap Blu-ray player. I know a lot of people who were like, they weren't even looking for video games.
Yeah, exactly.
They were looking at a cheap Blu-ray player, and that was the cheapest thing on the market at the time was a PS3.
And it wasn't just a Blu-ray player; it's a Blu-ray player plus it has Netflix, plus it has YouTube, plus it has it has
it's a fucking Roku with the damn Blu-ray player.
Exactly, and Xbox 360 saw that, and even though the Xbox 360 and the PS4 or the PS3 had been kind of like neck and neck, I don't remember who had the edge in sales, but even though they were both fairly strong competitors with one another, Xbox 360 or Microsoft saw this and they were like, holy fuck, well let's do that. And that's what they tried to do with the Xbox One, and it kind of fell on its face, just because you can expand the market somewhat, but you can't expand it all the way without losing a bit of your soul. And when they tried to make the Xbox One like an all for everyone type of thing, they made a sacrifice, and it didn't pan out.
Because people already had Netflix and whatever they had.
Right, and because also we now have DVD players that have Netflix and the like, and DVD players became cheap as shit.
Yeah, like you can get $100 Blu-ray player for like with Netflix and all the other app stuff.
Right. So whereas the PlayStation 3 was a huge draw because it had, hey, not only can I play games, but also I can watch Blu-ray movies and also get on Netflix, which back then, whenever PlayStation 3 first came out, I don't recall any Blu-ray players having Netflix as an option. Like it just wasn't there because they were still going, ooh, Blu-ray. Today, now that Microsoft is joining in saying, oh yeah, we can totally add all these options also, just like PlayStation 3 did. Now it's not a big deal. Now it doesn't matter because every Blu-ray player comes with Netflix, pretty much, and Blu-ray players, like you said, are like $100.
Yeah, like they managed to lower the cost. It was the same thing happened to DVD players when they first came out.
Yeah,
and then you got down to the point where like a Blu-ray or DVD player was like $30.
You know what it is? The new generation of consoles, they don't have like that ooh factor. There's nothing to
well,
like.
Well, that's nothing. They don't have a system seller either. It was one of the things where Halo, you can argue that was Xbox One system seller, and 343 kind of fumbled that one hard with the multiplayer. Same thing can be said with the PS4 and See, I gotta say that the PS4 system seller hasn't even come out yet because, like, Second Son, it's notorious that the multiplayer is what really draws the most amount of crowd to buy your console.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Halo, the Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield 4, 5, whatever iteration, it's Battlefield 4, I think. Like, that whole crowd of people is, without a doubt, I don't even know the number, but I'm going to guess easily a third of the fan base, a third of the purchasing customers.
It's funny. I don't think it's idea of system seller like buying consoles for one game, but if we're going to PS4, it probably won't be until like Uncharted 4. But I mean, like, there'll still probably be people who buy a PS4 for Bloodborne, but that's not really a huge popular series. So
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with like Infamous and one of the other big Last of Us and games like that, right? Where, but at the same time, the system sold fucking insanely well.
well, they marketed it right.
What's up?
It's marketing. They market.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things where I know a lot of people where I would talk to at work about Destiny, and they would be like, "That game's only for PlayStation, right?" And I'd have to explain to them, like, "No, it's all marketing. Like, they're not going to advertise. They're actually not allowed to advertise for Xbox One because they have some sort of a signed agreement with Sony that tells them that they're not allowed to."
Really? Oh, that's actually brilliant. That's
there was
brilliant.
actually an ad. It was cologne. It was a bottle of cologne. It said Xbox One, Destiny, on the fucking bottle of cologne, and that was Microsoft's little tongue-in-cheek way of advertising it.
Well, it's funny because Microsoft does that with games as well. Like, every time you see a Call of Duty ad, it says they make it like it's only for Xbox, even though it's on other systems.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? Is like they closely align with the marketing. So whenever you see the commercials, all you're beaten in the head with, if you are the average consumer and you don't really, you don't know a lot about the industry, you don't know developers, you don't know, like you just don't pay attention to these things, right? To the average consumer that just watches the commercials on the TV, they associate that game with whatever brand is at the end of the commercial. So whenever they see Greatness Awaits, PS4, Glacier White Destiny version or whatever the fuck, right? That's instantly what they're going to think of whenever they say Destiny.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I think in part ads are useful and they do have a very measurable effect. But I think whenever we look at the psychological effects, I think we tend to overplay. Because a lot of what the ads do is all they really do is associate a vaguely good feeling towards a certain item. And whenever we go in and we're looking at stuff and we're not really sure what we want, we're going to go with whatever makes us feel vaguely good. In terms of actual, advertising effect.
I would say Sony had the best commercials of the PS4. I think that's why they're winning.
I haven't seen very many Xbox. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen very many Xbox One commercials.
You see, there's the advertisement right down there, John. But I absolutely loved the Xbox One commercial whenever it first announced it because it was like the Titan from Titanfall punching through the guy's office window at the glass and shit like that and putting him in the fucking suit and shit and walking him home to play Destiny. That was cool. Or not Destiny, walking home to play Titanfall. Like, that was cool. And there were games like, they're doing the Greatness Awaits for the PS4 thing, right? They were showing things off in that ran notoriously bad for PS3. Like, I'm pretty sure you see Alduin in that very first commercial. It's the live action commercial, right?
Yeah. Wait, which game?
For the original Greatness Awaits commercial for the PS4.
Oh, with that guy walking down the street.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you see Alduin in that commercial. Am I right? Really? Like at the very end, Alduin, Black Dragon from Skyrim. Like he flies overhead at the very end.
Oh yeah.
I don't recall.
That game is notoriously bad for PS3. So it was kind of like for a lot of people who owned PS3s last generation, they were kind of like would watch that and be like, that game ran like shit. Why in the hell? And they were like, oh, okay, so Greatness Awaits for you to run like a chugging frame rate. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, let me point out that part was not intended for people who had already bought in the game. It was not. Because if you already spent the money, they don't give a fuck. It's the people who haven't spent the money. So if there's a graphic that's really cool, even if the game is shit, they're still gonna put it up.
And so I felt really bad for the people who played on the PS3 because they were straight up fucking DLCs that these people never got a hold of. Like the entire Dawnheart quest line, they never got. Or what was it? Fuck, I can't remember. It was the goddamn vampire quest line they never got a hold of.
Dawnbreaker, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then there's the one where it goes to Morrowind.
Yeah, and like there was one scene in it that I could think that would really force the frame rate in that thing to chug, and that would have been whenever you were fighting two dragons. You're walking across the frozen lake of ice, and two dragons bursted up out of the ice right in front of you.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, because I've already witnessed the PS3 thing chugging personally. Like I've watched one of my friends playing the game. And we didn't know what the fuck was going on at first. He didn't know if it was just like a random glitch in one area or whatever, or what was going on. But the game would the frames would tank, and it was bad. After it kind of became aware, and this is what people realized, that was the one scene that I had seen in that game, and I was like, oh god, yeah, the PS3's frames would just. Oh man, like that one scene with all the particle effects and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure if the PS3 could have actually handled it and actually done it well, like particle effects for that would have been beautiful. But
it was the self-processor. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the main problem with the PS3.
You know, I would like to see, because like I said before, in going with the new consoles, they didn't really build up to it. I didn't see a whole lot of stuff that made me want to
I'm sorry, John. It's Dawnguard. Thank you, Marco from chat.
Very nice. What I would love to see, and I think this may happen with the next generation of consoles, is I don't think they actually focused on graphics enough, and I'm not actually talking about, the 1080 by 60 frames per second thing. No, like what they should have done is one of the big draws of console gaming, or the big draw of computer gaming, of PC gaming versus console, is that PC gaming has amazing graphics. I mean, if you're in the audience and you have not played PC game, like Portal 2 will blow your fucking mind if you played like the Xbox version versus the PC version. There's no comparison.
Yeah.
And they need to emphasize that. Like they need to go in and say like, this is the difference between your current Xbox 360 and your Xbox One.
I don't disagree. And the thing is, I'm not a graphics whore by any means, but I was expecting the generational leap to be a little bit bigger than it turned out to be. Like, there's some fascinating stuff on the consoles, sure, some great looking stuff, but like it pales in comparison to even the kind of the most janky fucking PC game, it seems. And it seems like, I don't know, if I'm spending $400-$500 on a new system, I'm gonna want it to do a little bit more than what the current gen systems turned out to do. I mean, we all saw that Uncharted 4.
It's really true about PC gaming. Like, it's like a billion times better because, like, I don't play PC games, but I've played some like convention and stuff, and like, I do not see I don't get like the whole glorification.
The big deal is that you have a lot of graphical settings and things like that, to where you can like up the settings to where it's high. Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, people can mod, so you can end up getting FOVs that make the game look even better than it actually is. Whereas consoles don't support modding because it's a closed console, and they don't want you going into it and shit like that. So,
right.
I would be interested to see like more options available for in-game play for consoles. Like, because you're getting to an era. This past, the whole thing with computers is every 2 years. Everything just doubles in speed and like halves in price.
I think
computers are getting it's either halves or doubles in speed. Halves in price, doubles in speed.
Right. Yeah,
things are getting so much better and so much faster. Like, we can make huge leaps in graphics capabilities, or like the ability to render complex lights, shadows, what have you, in these scenes and whatever we have. What I'm looking forward to is the day when I can play Call of Duty and like actually be a little bit apprehensive because it looks like I'm killing real people. Because that's the main thing you want to have a light year to go.
You want to
is-
visit the uncanny valley, huh?
Yeah. I just want to like accidentally run
like,
into somebody
I
in
wanna
like
shoot
Call
real
of Duty.
people in the face.
I want to like I don't actually want this to happen, but I think it would be awesome if it was possible to actually go into Call of Duty and kill someone, and then like you come up to it, not like physically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like you go up and the person like looks like someone you know, and you're like, holy fuck, what did I just do?
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Like I want to
Uh,
get to the point where you can't like it gets to the point where you can't necessarily tell the difference. Halo 4, they got really good on that. They got like it. My friend and I actually stood watching the cutscenes and we would pause it and can we pause them? We would just stare at them and replay them over and over again and stare at them like, is that real or isn't it? Is
You
that
know-
real? No, it's real. No,
And
it's fake.
Infamous Second Son actually does that pretty well too. You know, in the game world itself, cutscenes take you out of it a bit, but the way the world is kind of lit and whatnot, it really evokes a sense of realism that, you know, it's
That's what I'm looking forward to though.
Right,
is
right.
That
Them
game
being able to
looks
render
really
in-game
good.
play that it's like that.
right. And my whole thing, you know, and going back to what you were saying earlier, I mean, I definitely agree in the sense that like the new consoles weren't. I mean, I already said it. You know, they weren't as big a leap as I was expecting, and I wanted to point to the Uncharted 4 trailer in particular, the one that came out, you know, a
You're
year or
talking
so ago.
about E3 one or
Yeah, the
the
E3 one where
Well, if you look at the PlayStation Experience that they did,
Right.
with they
Doesn't
actually
look
showing
quite
off
as good.
gameplay for it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to raise is like we get these bull shots that set unrealistic expectations,
Right.
and
I remember saying that
they say it's rendered on PlayStation 4 software or hardware, and then the fucking actual game comes out and doesn't look anything like it.
And it's also like just the way. Go on, John. Go on. What were you gonna say?
I think Naughty Dog said they want the game to run at 60, which I don't really I don't really give a shit about 60 FPS because when I usually play the game, I know it's just for like a few minutes, but then it just completely goes by.
Well, you know, and I was playing The Last of Us, and you know, we were talking about, you know, console games needing more toggles and shit. That game actually, that and Infamous both have toggles where you can like toggle the frame rate at a either you know, a solid 30 or a variable 60.
yeah.
And I can tell the difference, like, huge. But the benefit on The Last of Us to playing in 30 frames is everything looks better.
And see, well, that's one of the things, right? Whereas for a long time, you couldn't. It was really difficult to do comparison videos between 30 and 60 frames because, you know, YouTube's player only runs at 30, only ran at 30, and now it's finally got the 60 update. So that's the thing now. But I don't think anybody has taken advantage to do a 60 frames, 30 frames comparison since then.
Right.
I also wonder if 30.
The only website that did it was GameSpot.
GameSpot.
And they did it with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which may not be the best game to take advantage of it, though. But yeah, they did a video, and you could actually see, like, 30 frames to 60 frames. 60 frames is a lot better, but I agree with John to where it's not like 30 frames doesn't break the game.
Oh, sure,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
can
also
agree,
wonder.
depending on the type
I
of
also
game.
wonder if 60 frames is actually necessary on a console. When you're on a PC, you're playing with a mouse, which means your ability to look back and forth is huge compared to using a joystick or using.
Well, I
a little
wonder
thumbstick.
actually if that doesn't make things easier on the people developing it if they're going to port it to PC later. If it runs at 60, that way it's something that they don't have to. Like they already know their benchmark prior. They don't gotta.
But I
Well, I
give
mean, of course,
the
the engine is
benefits of
going to
being
be
move
able
that
to
fast.
do it in. Yeah, they're not going to like rewrite the engine just to port it to PC. They're going to make it available in 60 frames and then just like change a little bit of code that tells it to render in 30 for Xbox.
Am
or
I
for
understanding what you're saying?
PlayStation.
That the benefit of 60 frames on consoles isn't necessarily as immediately noticeable as it is on the PC, where you're
Exactly.
only constrained by how fast you can move your wrist.
Exactly, because because most people, and of course I'm referencing mostly first person games,
Sure.
but also even the other versions of the games, 60 frames doesn't really matter a whole lot unless you're like wildly looking around the screen and it has to render that fast. Like if the whole screen is just shifting over in a quarter second, then yeah, having 60 frames per second is going to be nice. But if you're only able to rotate at a certain speed, it becomes kind of like a relative thing. Like
I would
60
love
frames
to
is
actually,
nice,
this
but not that
this
great.
brings up a really good question. I would love to actually talk to pro COD players or pro Battlefield players and talk to them and be like, is the 60 frames really like a massive thing in the competitive community, or
Now, it does make a difference in the fighting game community where everything comes down to like, like we're talking like frame perfect like moves and shit. They
Yeah.
really do value.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I can't speak to it myself, but I've heard that the whole thing for them is 60 frames is a lot smoother. It's easier to do the frame counting they need to do and to pull off their moves a little bit, smoother and shit. But outside of fighting games, I mean, like, and games like Devil May Cry or DMC rather that ran in 30 frames per second but had insanely complicated, combos and shit. Outside of that, I can take a platformer that runs at 30. I'm okay with that. Like,
I'm with Red on this. It's just a simple thing like 60 frames per second is going to matter when you have like $10,000 on the line, and a tenth of a second that's affected by the 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second is a thing for you. But for everybody else, unless like you're like the most COD fad, like just in your basement 8 hours a day type of deal, it's not going to matter. Like people are going to choose really beautiful graphics with 30 frames per second over pretty good stuff with 60 frames. It's just a natural thing. You're going to notice the really good graphics before you notice, oh yeah, it shuddered slightly less by a tenth of a second in this one frame here where it really mattered.
Can I ask you guys something?
what's it?
So, how long have you known what frame rate was? Because I didn't know it was until like a few years ago.
I gotta say Call of Duty 1, not 1, Modern Warfare 1.
What now? I'm sorry, I missed the question.
When did you ever learn what frame rate actually meant? Like,
I've known it forever, but my whole thing was, it was more focused when I started hearing it on like jittering and stuttering and stuff.
yeah, I didn't really think about frame rate. Okay, like back whenever I'd play like Oblivion and things like that, right? And the frame rate would chug for a second.
Oh, I can tell you exactly whenever. It was Motor Tune Grand
I used to think of it. I'm sorry to cut you off, Daryl.
No, you're fine. I cut you off first.
But I used to think that it was the game lagging. It wasn't like, now granted the game's not connected to the internet, so that's not even a viable thing.
Right.
But that was just the way I looked at it. It wasn't until I didn't even realize what frames were until Call of Duty 4, and they were like 60 frames, and I was like, "What's that?" And I went and Googled it.
Right. Now, for me, I remember there was a game for the PlayStation made by the Gran Turismo folks. It was called Motor Tune Grand Prix, and it was one of the rare PS1 games that actually ran in 60 frames per second. And they made a big to-do about that, and that was the first time I really heard about that shit. And then from there on, it was just mainly about like how stuttery the frame rate was, rather than what the refresh rate or whatever, So yeah, I don't know. I think that's the thing. And what's that?
See, even when like I remember when it was like E3 2011 was like Modern Warfare 3 versus Battlefield 3, and one of the things that Activision said was like console version was going to run at 60 on Modern Warfare, and Virtual on Battlefield was like, okay, I don't really care.
And see, Battlefield, I think, has their own issues, and they need to go back to Bad Company series where everything was destructible and not just one or two key things in the environment.
Now, I can't remember who I was talking with. It might have been Uri or Jason, actually. We were talking about how frame rate is... resolution and frame rate have come to represent what like graphics used to be, in the sense that like, these new consoles, they could be a little bit more advanced, but for what they are, they're not bad. So people are finding like they can't find fault in in the things that they used to. So now they've moved on to like frame rate and resolution and shit. Like, oh this game on the Xbox only runs at 900p and 700 or 60 frames per
Did
second.
you say 900p?
Yeah, that's a thing.
All right, real fast. We got 10 minutes till the hour. I just want to let everyone know the segments are gone. We do 1 3-hour show now. This is easier on us as well as you guys. You're not clicking on links to get to the next video.
Right. To be frank, I can only maintain an erection for so long, and past the 4-hour mark, it's really unhealthy.
And there's only so long we can look at it behind the scenes here. So.
Hey, no, that's not true. You told me that you liked it more than that.
Okay, I can do 4 hours.
I mean, and really, I sprained my wrist last week. It's. I used the wrong.
But we figure a 3-hour show is easier for you guys to watch, and
we notice folks don't migrate over to the next piece either.
Yeah, we tend to lose viewers whenever we do the migrate. But I don't know. It's what it is. Like I'd rather have a good 3-hour show than a broken up 8-hour show any day. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Marco,
our viewers are very cool. They're very intelligent. I mean, they listen to you.
Oh my god.
So like you know what I mean, like they know what they're talking about.
Are we gonna get into this shit already? Like, is that where this is going?
We're gonna host a therapy session for you.
Last night.
Shut up,
John,
shut up,
you missed this.
Shut up.
No, I need to hear this now.
Wayne posted on Facebook. He's like,
shut up. Okay, on to the next topic.
He's like, I've been oppressed by that clown, Rotten Rye HD. ICP explained me out to me about how magnets work. It was hilarious.
How do magnets work? I don't believe no fucking magnets.
But it was great.
I hate you all.
Nah. But
back to video games, because that's what my show is mainly going to be focused around now.
But I mean, what do you think, Rye? Would you agree that like frame rate and resolution have become the
they've become the new talking
thing?
Point. Yeah, they've definitely becoming the new talking point to where like, oh, this system has better graphics. That's no longer the thing. It's this system has better resolution or better frame rate.
You can't just throw numbers at people. That's the thing that kind of bugs me. Whenever I saw Xbox 360 coming up and whenever I saw PS3, like I saw people actually, I was reading articles that would actually explain like this is how this game's going to be improved. This is how this game's going to be. Like they had a couple cross platforms. What was it? Double Agent, which was a Tom Clancy. I forget what the main series is called. Splinter Cell Double Agent, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where they actually totally changed one of the levels, and the level was terrible.
They totally changed stuff. They actually made it so that like during the PS2 version, you actually cannot have the whole level loaded at once. And the cool thing is in the upgraded version, the PS3 version, like huge, much larger scales of the map were loaded at the same time, and it could actually handle that kind of level of power. And I saw that, and that made an impression on me. And like them actually saying like like these features will be available in this game versus the old console version. For this upcoming for the Xbox One, all I got out of it was like, oh yeah, when you play Call of Duty, it'll double render the sniping. I'm like, that doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care. They'll show blurriness instead of blackness on the side of the scope whenever I zoom in. I don't even use a fucking sniper rifle. How does that like make me want to play it?
No, that but people who do use sniper rifles in Call of Duty don't spend much time looking down the scope anyway.
Right. That's exactly right.
But see, that shit is just the new version of what we dealt with as kids. The whole bit wars thing, like
Yeah, that's exactly
16-bit, 8-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, 28.
It's just the bit wars and different numbers.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, we've long been obsessed with pointless numbers.
Hold on.
Like nobody can tell you what fucking 8-bit meant.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
What's that?
Did someone just say Sega does what Nintendo don't?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you so much. Oh god.
Yeah. That's fun.
But yeah, that was the kind of marketing you had back in the day, where they would take legitimately stabs at one another, like in their own advertisements. Whereas nowadays, you don't in their advertisements for Sony and Microsoft now, mainly because they have to pay each other to use each other's names.
Right. Sega's whole thing was blast processing.
Oh, God. Yeah, see, that was another... Okay, we were talking about this last night, and I think this is hilarious, because blast processing was a buzzword back in the day, whereas cloud gaming is the buzzword today.
They're both literally fucking nothing.
Yeah, they mean nothing. All it is just a goddamn buzzword to get you fucking interested.
And in the case of blast processing, like, there's some science to cloud computing. You know, I mean, the application that Microsoft was talking about isn't there yet, but that's a little less of a buzzword. Blast processing was literally just what they said was responsible for Sonic being able to go fast.
Yeah.
And
Which I don't know. I've heard arguments to that game to where it would have been great if if the Sonic games, if he was a little more back on the screen was a little more forward. Like that was just like they could have done things to make that entire thing better. But yeah, we all know the way Sonic went. So
right. Yeah,
Right,
now
it's
there's
not like
all the
we're playing
fucking
it now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that character just doesn't exist anymore. He just sucks.
yeah, exactly. Like they've beaten the hell out of him. They've literally changed him. He's not even the same Sonic anymore. What do you know?
Hey, but that's a spinoff, man.
I really hope it is. Like I sincerely hope that they will get their heads out of their ass and do an Adventures 3.
Yeah, I
Or
wouldn't count
Generations
on it.
2. I want to know Generations.
Yeah, the Generations I felt was plagued by all the same modern 2D Sonic issues, like fucking.
That's kind of the same thing that happens anytime they HD an old series of games, like Hitman, right? They brought back Hitman, was it Contracts, Silent Assassin, and Blood Money?
You're right.
And the problem whenever you update a game like that, you're like, oh yeah, look, hey, you can use your new controller with it and play it on a new console. The graphics aren't ever updated. They're high-res a little bit, but it's more or less, hey, look, you can play it on a widescreen TV now without black boxes on the screen. That's essentially what they're doing. And then they always come with the same flaws that the game had to begin with. They never go in and bug patch any of the issues. Like for Silent Assassin, you can't go into cover, so you're just stuck standing awkwardly on the side of a wall somewhere. And it's the same thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, back when the show started, you mentioned playing Combat Evolved. Like, they used a lot of level design in that game. Like,
What was it?
Yeah, you talked about Combat Evolved earlier. You were playing Combat Evolved earlier?
Oh, yeah.
They used a lot of level design in that game.
Oh, yeah, like I was actually just playing, what the fuck was it? The first level where you come in contact with the Flood. And, for a while, I'm like, this is the same room I was just in. This is the same room I was just in. Again, same fucking room I was just in. And they did this like 3 or 4 times. It was like, this is fucking stupid. And I'm like, oh, look, the end of the elevator. Let's go. I'm done.
Oh, yeah. Wait, were we talking about Elevator, the game?
Oh, no, we were talking about Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, exactly. Elevator action.
Mass Effect 1 suffered in a lot of ways the same way that Assassin's Creed 1 suffered.
Good
idea.
Well, how do you mean? Because Assassin's Creed 1, it just repeated all the same things again and again. Don't get me wrong, I love the game. It's actually like the whole reason why I even bothered to play 2. Because
I'm talking about your critique of Mass Effect just now.
Oh, that was just a fucking tongue-in-cheek critique. I really like that game.
Okay.
It's one of the things where if they were to do an HD remake of the trilogy for the new consoles, I would say fix that. Like, oh my god, please just fix the elevators, make them go faster. Like, I'm all for riding the elevators and hearing the character interaction because that shit was awesome. But as soon as the characters are done, open that fucking elevator door and let me the hell out.
Okay, then I misheard you. I thought you were saying something about like how certain buildings had the exact same layout on the floors.
Oh no, that was with Halo. Halo 1, they there was like, okay, I was in the level with the Flood. I can't remember. It was a level before Library. I cannot fucking remember. I think it's actually 343 Guilty Spark.
That's Library, I think. Library.
Library is the mission after. Library is the mission after. Like, you find 343 at the end of the level 343. But yeah, or you're running around and you're doing the whole Flood thing or whatever, and you're still trying to find the Flood, you know?
Right.
And as you're coming up on the areas and shit like that, like every room that you're going through is just a carbon copy of the room you were just in.
Okay. Yeah, because that's something I've noticed about beginning games that have a lot of vision, like just something totally new. Like Assassin's Creed was a totally new idea. Halo was a great idea. But whoever came up with the idea of Halo and whoever came up with the idea for Assassin's Creed, their vision only went so far, and it kind of ended at the point of world generation.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Like my favorite example to compare it to of a really great game that was like original and new is BioShock, because literally that's like one of the few original great games that I've played.
Right.
Which is terrible.
Right.
But whoever designed BioShock clearly had a vision for not only the characters, for not only the storyline, but also the entire everything that was going on. To come up with the idea of an underground civilization or an underwater civilization is fantastic, and then they developed it further.
That was Ken Levine, wasn't it?
What's that?
That was Ken Levine who made that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the head of the studio at the time.
Whereas with Halo, you have an interesting backstory, an interesting set of characters, but when it comes to the actual gameplay, they're kind of like, oh, the maps, I guess we'll just make a bunch of rooms.
Right.
And that was it.
No, that's just the first game. I mean, when you get the sequels, level design is way more interesting.
Yeah,
You know, here's a
everyone-
series that kind of shows what you're talking about. Like Sly Cooper, the first one, really unique idea with the whole stealth, platformer type thing, and then. But when you go back and play it now, by comparison to the other ones, it feels really limited in terms of like ideas and whatnot. And then you play the third one, and it's like a fully realized version of what they were going for at the beginning.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me, Daryl.
What?
Never played a Sly Cooper game.
What's that?
Never played a Sly Cooper game.
Oh no, they ain't no big deal. They're worth trying. I mean, if you got a PS3, they always go on sale or get put on the
Hey,
the free
Sony,
thing.
make them free.
Let me just restate my initial premise in
Sure.
in a way that we can understand.
Yeah,
In other words,
you're
when
giving
it
us too
comes
much
to
credit.
highly creative original games, it's very easy to kind of just tell when the person who came up with the idea where their vision just stopped.
Yeah, Yeah.
Like you can tell they thought it through this far and no further. When you have
Right.
people come out with oh, we made this first-person shooter that's totally like Call of Duty, but it's not, so it's totally original. Like those games, that's all crap. That's all like you can't tell one thing from another. You can't tell which one was a corporate idea and which one was an artist idea or whatever. When it comes to an original series like Halo or like BioShock or like Assassin's Creed,
Or
you
Gears
can
of
tell
War.
in the first game this is what their vision was and this is where they
Sure.
stopped thinking. And then the next game comes and you can say, okay, this is where they figured out where their flaw is and they try to compensate and
Right.
figure it out and where they added more people.
right.
So-
And I got that, and that's what the Sly Cooper series does. It's like it's very limited in terms of like you said, like the scope of the world and everything is like fully realized. Like they had an idea, but like a lot of the mechanics and stuff weren't there at first because you can tell their focus was more on that one aspect of the game.
Then you have games that will totally 180 you on the sequel, like Jack and Daxter, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like that game was they were like, okay, this is too close to Crash. We got to change this up.
right. That was Grand Theft Daxter.
Yeah, dude, that game was great though.
It was.
Jack 2.
Sure.
First
I
time I
had
played
Jack
that
2.
shit out. Oh, I loved it. I love that entire
Yeah.
trilogy. That's one of the things where Naughty Dog has said time and time again that if we go back to Jack, it'll have to be something special that we have that impels us and makes us want to go back.
Right.
But I keep telling myself like, why don't they just, if they don't have anything intended for it right now, give it to somebody who has an idea for it.
Right.
And keep it under the Sony flag. That's fine. They give it to Sony has plenty of first-party developers that will be itching to develop a Jack game, or even then, just Naughty Dog themselves. I'm sure they have a B team. Fucking pass it off to them.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
I
too
think
focused
someone-
on.
Someone with vision who's passionate about the game. Like that's what it needs.
Yeah.
It's like Sanzaru was the studio who did the latest Sly Cooper. They took over for Sucker Punch, did the HD trilogy, and then I guess they're working on.
I hate to interrupt you. You played Infamous Second Son, right?
Yeah.
Did you see all the Sly Cooper references?
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of
Everywhere.
infamous references as well.
Oh no,
So-
but like the Sly Cooper references. Look,
Sure.
I see that every time I saw them like spray painted on a wall or whatever. We're like, oh, that's fucking cute.
Yeah. But anyway, what I was gonna say is Sanzaru, they had a clear passion for the IP, So when Thieves in Time came out, it was a very safe sequel. It didn't stray too far from what Sucker Punch had done, but at the same time, you could tell there was a love for it there, and it was in good hands. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And one of the things I actually like about watching these original series, these original games, like kind of branch out and come up with the sequels and the next, is you can actually there's almost a love relation, well, in some series a love-hate relationship with the development of the game itself.
Right.
Like it's not just like the story, but it's also like how they treat the story as a whole going on. Except for Halo 4, because fuck those guys, they killed Cortana.
You bastard.
Well, I think that's what Halo 5 is going to be about. Actually, they've gone on to say that you really aren't going to be playing as Chief all as much as you think you're going to be in Halo 5. You're going to be playing as Agent Locke more than Chief.
Yeah.
It's kind of like anything.
I was just really disappointed because you'd think that fucking Cortana would have some kind of like, I don't know, screensaver option. Like to save it. Like, come on, man. You're gonna sit there and think or something? That fuck that.
It's one of the things where, like, I've said time and time again that is, like, of recent memory, that is the ending with the most feels involved. That every time I watch it, it's just like I die a little inside every time I play it.
Because I never got the game, but a really close buddy who actually lives within 5-10 minutes of me, he and I got the game, and we played the game like in my living room with a fucking 60-inch TV, just sitting like 3 inches in front of it, playing and like ogling over all the cutscenes, and everything looks so cool, and you can barely tell the difference between like is that cutscene like real? Did they actually film that, or is that just CGI? And after like 4 cutscenes, we finally figured it out. And then in the end, like because he was the biggest fucking Halo fan, my buddy's like all about Halo and Call of Duty, and especially Halo, especially the storyline. At the end, like Cortana dies, and I just realized we just spoiled that so badly. By the way, spoilers, guys.
Spoiler
When
alert.
you're playing the Master Chief Collection, just go ahead and skip forward because Katana dies.
But Cortana dies, and he just stood there in shock, just in total shock, like almost in tears, watching the screen, like, why would they? Why would they do that?
Well, as soon as I saw it, because this is like, as soon as I saw it, like they're setting it up. He's gonna go and find her, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're like in Guardians. He's looking for a way to revive Cortana.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's gone.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
The
actually.
only reason why he's gone rogue because, like, I mean, I haven't played Halo Anniversary, but I watched like 2 cutscenes at the beginning and end. And basically, he's going rogue, and but it doesn't tell you, but you most likely guess it's going to be because of Cortana, because the first trailer, he's wearing like the tag, it's like the
the card that she would be on typically.
Hmm.
The one he would jack in the back of his head.
Did you say Hugh Jackman?
All right, but yeah, that was joke fell flat, Daryl. Anyway.
Has anyone noticed? Has anyone noticed in the Halo
It wasn't a
5?
joke. I literally thought you said Hugh Jackman.
Oh no! Like, okay, and have you played Halo?
No, not too much, man.
Really? All right. Well, he keeps her on like almost like an SD card type of deal, and he literally plugs it into the back of his helmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I'm not very good at first-person shooters, so I tend to not play them. So.
But yeah, the ending of Halo 4 is literally like the most heart-wrenching thing I've watched in such a long time.
Have you noticed that? Maybe I missed it, but there didn't seem to be very many commercials for Halo 5 that was based around any sort of story. Is Halo 5 just arena fighting?
As far as the multiplayer goes?
I mean, is there any single-player campaign?
Oh yeah, there's a single-player campaign. Yes.
Was there? Did I miss it? Were there any advertisements for the campaign?
They did one teaser trailer, and all it shows is Locke in his armor.
Okay, because I remember like they were teasing and putting stuff up about Cortana and
if you
Chief
want
in
bits
Halo
to
4.
that story, they're doing the what's the name of the series? It's a live-action series.
Nightfall.
Nightfall, yes, Halo Nightfall. That's leading up to Guardians, and you actually see Agent Locke and the character and the guy who plays him and shit like that. So yeah.
Okay.
But that's why if you look at the cover of Guardians, how Chief is on the bottom of it and Locke is on the top. Locke is looking for Chief, and you play as him looking for him. Like it's probably going to be like an Arbiter situation, where you're going to switch to Chief every once in a while to play as him.
How many what the fuck are they called? I can't.
That's not nice, Daryl.
I know. I'm sorry.
What was Halo, or what was Master Chief? He was a Spartan. There we go. How many Spartans are left at this point in the Halo series?
It's just Chief, apparently.
Because I remember there was like maybe 4.
Well, that's the thing, right? At the end of Halo 4, they almost allude to the fact that there being more Spartans.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing, like,
Well, there had been a Halo Generation 2 and then
Well,
a
like-
Halo Generation 3, but they
I think,
all
like-
they just all died.
well, I think what happened with Master Chief, like, he's the last one where, like, he was abducted as a kid, and, like, for his entire life he was trained as a Spartan. I think, like, he's the only one of those types left.
No, just stop that. Stop that. But John is right. The difference between the Spartan 1, 2, and 3 programs are incredibly different. The Spartan 1 program, they were raised from childhood. They were all genetically superior, and they also had their Spartan armor had shields of a certain level. I think in the Halo universe they were actually pretty weak. And then there was a Type 2 that had, I think, sort of armor. And then Spartan 3 series, like, they just had, like, sort of camouflage. Like, they were Space Marines they were like Marines with camouflage, semi-active. Because as the war dragged on, they just had less and less time to really invest in a program and actually, like, spend time. Like, they ran out of time is the main issue.
Right, for which one?
For the history of Halo, where they had 3 separate Spartan programs, and John Spartan is from the Spartan 1 program.
Yeah.
And then they had 2 other iterations, but those basically, by the time they got into Spartan 3s, the Spartan 3 program, like, almost all of them died in a single attack. Like, they just sent a whole wave of them to try to conquer something, and they just all died.
Well, see, that was like I know I don't know if you ever watched Halo. What was it called? It was the thing that they did before Halo 4.
Forward Unto Dawn or something.
Yes, Forward Unto Dawn. Thank you. Where
Sure.
they, at the end of that, you see 2 other Spartans in that, and apparently those 2 are Spartans from one of the books. I never got into the books though, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting most of my history from, is from the books, because I genuinely love, like, I read through, I think, 4 of the books that go through, like, Halos 2, 3, and 4. Or no, yeah, 2, 3, and 4, the books. And
It surprises me
history
a
is
great
phenomenal.
deal that they were able to come up with so much lore around that, because at the first game, they were like, oh, well, if like, we're just going to do a trilogy of games. And, by the time the first one did as well as it did, and the 2 was doing as well as it was, they're like, all right, we're going to write a whole bunch of books too.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing with Gears of War. Now, Gears of War doesn't have as many fans of it. Like, I love the Gears franchise. I fucking, like, wholeheartedly. If it would have come down to, like, this year we have the Master Chief Collection, and on the same day they were releasing the fucking Gears of War Collection, I would have gotten the Gears. I love that fucking franchise.
Which one's your favorite?
One, honestly. I just wasn't big on the heavy weapons and shit like that.
For me, it's 3.
I like 3. Just 2 was a real downfall for me because they fucked with the actual camera angle and shit. And it wasn't that made a traumatic difference or anything, but that 2's whenever 2-piecing became a really big deal.
I think the problem with 1 is, like, there was, like, some major mechanic problems, like, with the chainsaws. Like, the 2 just with, like, if
Yeah, they
like,
would vacuum into you.
Yeah, and they had, like, the chainsaw duels in the sequel, which made the game more balanced.
Yeah. But at the same time, people had turbo controllers, so that kind of blew away balancing.
And also, a barrel didn't, like, attach it to a ball, because that can really be a pain in the ass in the first game.
I'm really hoping that they do a trilogy collection of that as well. They can leave Judgment out, I'm fine. I don't need Judgment in my life ever. That game could have never happened, I'd been fine.
So, we know there's another one coming, right?
Yeah, Black Tusk.
No, we don't need that. No, we're good.
Yes,
Like-
we do need another Gears of War. Black
Like-
Tusk.
Oh, Gears of War. I thought you were talking about Judgment. I was like, no.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, how can you go after this? I mean, like, we could do is, like, I think what they
But
could do is, like, have, like, 1,000 years in the future, and, like, humanity's been rebuilt, but then, like some locals survived, and then, like, rebuilt their army as well, and they come out or something.
but let me think here. Fuck. Okay, Microsoft bought it from Epic last year. They gave it to Black Tusk Studios, and they put Rob Ferguson or Randy Ferguson. I can't think what the hell his actual name is, and he was one of the co-creators of the Gears of War franchise. So it's in good hands because they have somebody on that team who knows that franchise well, but they're not going to just be able to freeball things, But I don't know. Like I'm weary of where they're gonna go with it because if it's not following Marcus and the Delta Squad, where are they gonna go?
Yeah, I don't want another prequel. I mean, like,
Not at all.
like,
And it's one of the things where, like we already said, 3 ended the war. You know,
yeah.
which I love the fact that they did the kill or save Carmine thing. I don't know. Did anybody here take part in that?
I think I bought a shirt, like the Avatar shirt. I
Yeah,
can't
you buy
remember.
it. Yeah, that was how you voted. Is you bought the Avatar shirt, whichever one sold more, is you chose right there whether you were gonna save Carmine or kill Carmine. I saved him. Like,
Yeah.
me and like a bunch of my friends all voted to save him. We had a bunch of people like nowhere near on it. Like I had 100 people maxed on my friends list, and nobody I can remember at the time had the red shirt at all.
Did they leave like a chart saying which one did the most, like 5%?
No, they legitimately didn't poll it because they wanted it to be a total surprise when the game came out.
Well, no, did they pull it afterwards?
Oh, I don't know. But I know whenever the game came out, they were because they played on it so hard, like the entire time. He kept taking shots. There's a couple times where he got shot in the head, and you were like, nope, he's alive. Okay. And then like at the very end, whenever you totally lose him on the mic, that was like, oh fuck, we lost. He died. Like that was it. And then fucking you see him at the end of it, he's like standing there, helmet still on, like a fucking champ, just like, yeah, we won.
Very good.
Did you want to talk about TV then? Red Boy wants to talk about TV.
Yeah, we got about 45 minutes in the show. We can do that. Yeah, everybody, you need to go to Twitter and do hashtag #OnSubTuberculosis. It is a horrible, horrible disease. We need it eradicated because nobody needs tuberculosis in their life.
It's like Ebola, a trained disease.
And in case you guys aren't wondering, yes, Total Biscuit is the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude retweeted a charity event that by a charity that he's partnered with and got a bunch of shit by people who think that Gamergaters, even charitable Gamergaters, are assholes, apparently. So their concern was that we were going to go and fuck shit up as if we haven't raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for charitable causes ourselves. You know, and yeah, and then they harassed the dude, and one person in particular wished he would just fucking die of cancer already, and
That's not really surprising to me.
no, not at all. And the thing is, they came up with yet another worthless hashtag, unsubTB. So
We
have,
co-opted it and made it OnSubTuberculosis.
yeah. So you know, go unsubtuberculosis.
Actually, the thing
Justice,
that cracked
guys.
me up, was the fact that there were actually anti-gamer gators who were defending Total Biscuit, where they're going like,
Yeah.
"Listen, dude, normally I agree with this, but Total Biscuit's not that bad. Like, you're
Yeah.
being a dick."
And people were like, well, you know, the kind of Gamergaters who would be in on this stream are typically charitable people, so I don't see the problem, you know? Like, they were trying to call reason to and this Able Gamers charity, and I think my understanding is that the guy behind that charity was the one who freaked out, and this isn't the first time he's had a problem with Gamergaters supporting his charity. You know, this is the second time. First time was the same deal. We donated a bunch of money because we thought the whole thing was cool and a good idea, and we got treated like shit. And this is the way these people operate. They think no matter what we do, we're evil.
It's because our money also has the cooties on it.
Right. Yeah, we turn other people into Gamergaters by you know, we bite them on the necks like fucking misogynistic vampires. Yeah, it's a bunch of fuckery. And of course, Total Biscuit dealt with it with the class and Gracie. I mean, at first the dude was incredulous. Like, you could tell he didn't take it seriously. He thought it was a load of bullshit. So he responded with snark like he usually does. And then
My
all of a sudden-
all-time favorite tweet he sent out though
Yeah.
over the past week would have to be the how do I get on the anti-Gamergate blacklist? Like, oh god,
Yeah.
yes.
he's like, I've dealt with you guys too long. You're a bunch of fucking nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I am still surprised when I run into like people who have me blocked that I've never interacted with before.
Yeah.
Like my
Oh, no.
account, I only tweet about Gamergate maybe once a week. Like
Right.
not that often because I'm doing MZS, I'm doing gamer journalism,
Right.
not that thing that they call gamer journalism over in Kotaku. actual gamer journalism over here.
When
And
we
so,
talk
like-
about games.
What's that?
What's- No.
You mean we actually talk about games?
Yeah.
I listen. It may include games. I mean, I may also be getting some head from a few unnamed developers. I mean,
and we also
people who
fuck a lot of bees.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you know, you're doing shit and still getting blocked because it's based on who you follow. Like, there's a
It's really disappointing that people are so intent on blocking other people, and they think it's harassment management, but like 99% of the people that they're blocking have never said a thing to them in their lives.
right,
And
right.
there's and the worst part is like you think they would think to themselves like maybe this isn't really effective because I'm still running into people that I disagree with. Holy shit, who would have thought that because I'm a SJW.
Right, yeah. I'm a loudmouth asshole who sucks the joy out of everything I've ever been in contact with, but God forbid somebody actually call me on that
Listen,
shit.
you use the word suck, that's a little bit ableist against people who don't have lips.
Yeah, right. Well, get lips.
Well, that shitty singing game.
Oh yeah, that was a shitty thinking game, wasn't it? But no, it is kind of. It is. I agree with you. It is kind of always kind of like a mild shock when you realize that somebody you've never talked to has you blocked. It's like,
And it's really disappointing because it denies me, because of the way Twitter's now set up, it denies me the chance to go through their tweets and laugh at them.
yeah, right.
Like, I don't even tweet at them, I just read them, I'm like, holy shit, they're that stupid!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
But I do like what you're saying though. We're over, and that's the thing. Mindless Zombie Studios is intent on, rather than tearing down, we're intent on building something up, and we've got a lot of intelligent, creative people behind the scenes working to bring you content. We will produce it before the second coming of Christ, I think.
No, we are currently in the middle. Like, we have people who are working on projects, and we're putting out articles consistently. And what I love is the fact that we're actually focusing on one of the things. Okay, let me start with this.
Sure.
The thing that has bugged me a lot is the sound bitiness. You know, we talk about clickbait and all that stuff, like just the cheapness.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit that comes out of Kotaku and it comes out of Gawker, and I'm looking forward to giving people the option to read like good stories, to see something like they can read it and walk away from the story and not suddenly feel empty pangs of regret afterwards.
Right. Or as if they'd been manipulated.
Exactly. Like, you don't need to read stories that's like, oh, you must feel this way because of this. No, like if I'm gonna write a review, I'm gonna tell you like this was my experience of it. This was the journey. This is like the story. This is the emotional journey. This is like the challenge. This is whatever this game is. This is what it's gonna be.
Right.
You know.
Every time that was my first time of going to Kotaku.
Did you actually like into the building?
No.
Or the
No,
website.
the website.
Either one's
Did you
pretty
have grenades with you, sir?
Yeah.
My very first time going to that fucking website, I just got my smartphone. And I was like, oh, a lot of people talk about this website. I'm going to go ahead and look at this. I looked at it, and everything on the headline, or the fucking titles and everything, like all of it, none of it had to do with video games. For the entire page, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's all Japan, all fucking, what's that guy's name? Fucking, I can't even remember it. There's Brian something. He's got
just in like the headlines, there wasn't one
That's what I'm
video game
saying.
reference.
It's all fucking Japanese shit, or why this game will piss you off, or watermelon with nice asses.
Like, none of it was even. Like, it was just fucking stupid. Like, it was mind blowing to me how in the hell this was even a website. And it was like, I remember, so I went on it with the intent to favorite it, to just have it in history, you know. And as soon as I looked at it, I scrolled down the page, and I'm like, no. No.
And this is actually a model where the clickbait is more important than the content, like getting those views on the ads and stuff. That's why they write these kind of inflammatory, ridiculous, far out, headlines. It's to get you to click through and view the ads. That's why they're defending their fucking lack of ethics and shit, because to them it's all a means to the end. I mean, Gawker in particular is just trash.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, if you see an article, because I know this is like this one weird food like supercharges your metabolism, or this one trick to drop weight, guys, let me just save you from ever clicking on that link again. The answer is a reasonable diet and moderate exercise.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it fucking is.
And a lot of masturbation.
And a lot. That's right. You need to get your wrist muscles really strong. That's an unknown secret. Like,
Yeah,
you need to alternate day by day and like.
If you play a lot of games and type a lot on your computer, you need to fight that carpal tunnel. Be ambidextrous about your masturbation. Don't be afraid to use the other hand.
Public service announcement.
How do you think Ben Kuchera became the keyboard warrior he is today?
Yeah, right.
Very true, very fast.
Fucking
He's
Billboard
very, very
Baggins.
fast. That was just good.
Still
Man.
amazes me people still go to those sites.
What's that?
Still amazes me that people still go to those sites.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's
Well, it's because they report on the drama and they report on like the silly, stupid, petty things that people want to read.
Yeah. And we were
it's-
talking earlier, like, we got into a heated discussion about, like, the secondary market and shit. They pander to the people like Jonathan who have no idea what they're doing. No, these sites do tend to take the most popular opinion about something, regardless of whether or not it has merit, and they echo it. Angry Joe actually, in my opinion, made a lot of his fucking empire based on saying, okay, this is what these guys are bitching about. I'm gonna fucking make a video about that where I pandered to them. And these websites do that. They fucking pander to their audience for the clicks and shit. So like Ryan was saying, they give them what they want to hear and what they want to read. And these are people who have to know every little thing that's happening. Like I stopped reading websites months ago, and I haven't been happier because I can walk into a store and see a new game and be like, oh yeah, you know, I forgot that was coming out. Or
I mean, here's the thing. Just go to All Games Beta. They just give you the facts. They give you like no text or anything. It's just like. Sorry? Does anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Because
No, we can't hear you. No, you're fine. You're fine, dude. We've been talking amongst ourselves. We're gonna get you some like. Now I'm gonna use the word steroid. Don't be scared. Right into your vocal cords.
Right. Yeah.
So you can give full power to your speech. It'll be very sexy. The ladies will love it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
See, and the Kool-Aid Man will also be sexually attracted to you.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's
But
why they
don't
call
worry,
him,
he's a lot less rapey than he seems.
that's why they call him the Red Warriors.
can't wait for anyway, so.
But look, that's
me
why they call him the
Red
Red
Warrior
Warriors.
because I
He's
leave your
actually the
asshole
Kool-Aid guy.
I went darker with that. I said it's because I leave your asshole bloody. Oh,
This is the guy I choose to have on the show for comic relief, folks.
yeah, that's it. That's all I'm good for. I'm sick this week, so I tried to hang in there.
So for puns and jokes, you get bloody assholes. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Enjoy. This is the kind of content you'll be getting from mindless zombie videos. Oh no.
Oh, Jason wants to stab you right now. I can.
No,
feel it.
actually, no. Check it out. Like Mindless Zombie, the philosophy behind it, at least with Jason, is kind of like Gonzo journalism in the sense that he wants to have fun, let people's personality come through in their writing. Like my Binding of Isaac review is kind of like me just talking to a friend, you know.
Yeah.
And well, for the most part, though, there's a little structure to it because, you know, people are expecting that shit. But yeah, and I really appreciate that because, like,
Oh, and plus side, no review scores.
yeah, no review scores. So if you're hard up for review scores, do not.
We don't score the game just because putting a number to a game like that is.
It's arbitrary. How can I quantify how much I liked a game and have that be meaningful to you? You know, like, even if I could find a score, like, that's not going to mean anything to you unless you assign it a meaning, and that's where it comes in. It's like scores are worthless. They only have the meaning you assign to them, and that's why people fight in the comment sections of fucking, this game got an 8.5, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right. It's a measure of popularity, and even then, that can get skewed. You know, you don't want to know what's popular unless you only play games to play with the popular crowd, in which case you have a lot of purchases to make.
Right.
This is what you want to know is this game going to be fun for me? So when you look at, you know, personally when I look at a review, I don't really care what the number they attach to it is.
Sure.
What I want to know is, like, this guy played it and he experienced this. This guy played it and he experienced this. Oh, look, that looks like a common experience. You know what? I'm probably going to be experiencing that. Do I want to experience that?
I will say it does take us a while to get game reviews done, but a lot of that has to do with we complete the game before we review it. We don't just.
We try to anyway. Like, Binding of Isaac's not a game you can really complete.
Yeah, because it's all procedurally generated,
Right.
and different seeds and things
Now,
of that nature. So.
there is a point where you can open every bit of the game that you possibly can. You'll still have items to collect and shit like that, but there will come a point where you can no longer open any new areas, and that, for all intents and purposes, is as close to an ending as you're gonna get. But yeah, the game is procedurally generated. It's almost infinitely replayable. So, in cases like that, and there will be times where I will write a review without playing the entire thing. Like I fucking panned what's it called? It was a game for the PS3 and Xbox. It was a really El Shaddai, the Ascension of the Metatron. That game was so fucking stupid that after playing like a good 3/4 of it, I was just like, nope, ain't doing that anymore. So, But I also made it clear in the review that I hadn't played through the entirety.
Yeah, I was actually waiting for you to finish so I could add that in. Like, you better fucking let him know.
Yeah.
Because that's only fair to say, because it could turn out like there's just a certain rough patch in the game that you got to get past, that you got to power through.
Right. And this one I had played, and I, because I checked into it, about where I was, and I was pretty much, for all intents and purposes, maybe an hour or two more, and I would have been done. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was pretentious, weird for the sake of being weird. It was strangely designed, and some of the design choices actually got in the way of gameplay. And
speaking of 3/4 of a game being a rough patch and then powering through the last half, you just described Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've heard that's a hallway walking simulator.
Yes, it is. Like, legitimately, the game doesn't open up to the third disc.
Right. Yeah, no HD towns, by the way. Those are too hard to develop.
Oh my god, there's no HD people. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's legitimately your fucking people, and that's it. There's nobody else that exists in this universe.
There's another example of graphics, like when they showed that game off prior to the PS3 and Xbox 360 coming out. They showed.
That's always been Final Fantasy's things, to where like the cutscenes look utterly fucking.
But it wasn't even a cutscene. It was like it was a render of the gameplay, and they didn't tell folks that.
A lot of that shit tends to be in engine. Like, this was made.
But it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, the actual character models come out not looking too much better than Final Fantasy 12.
Well, 13 looked good, but at the same time, it played terribly.
But I'm talking about, bull shots, and that's a whole other subject for another week, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That series has been in just jeopardy for the past fucking God knows how many games.
I've been in jeopardy, baby.
I'll say, Type 0 actually looks good, and I do actually. Well, I played a 14, the When We're Born. I actually really like it.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good, but mainly because it's not like the main series Final Fantasy. It's the MMO thing, and I've heard that once they kind of fixed it and relaunched it, it turned out pretty good. So.
Yeah, I actually own it for the PS4.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game you're gonna want to play. If you're playing on PS4, if you have a PS4 and that's your place to play it, buy yourself a keyboard.
Okay.
Because in order to chat, you need a keyboard. If on PC, it's just you're gonna have a lot. If you play down the PC, you're gonna have a good time.
Actually, I played with a controller. I played about 12 hours.
Well, you can play it with controller. I'm just saying to
I've
talk.
had fun with controller. Even when
to talk to people, you're gonna want a keyboard because it's a pain in the ass to sit there and pull up that little thing and text real fast to people. It's just easier if you have a USB keyboard. You can just plug in and done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have that, I might check it out if you want to do some videos of that sometime.
We can. Actually, I'm already part of a guild, so I have people on there that can help us. So.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
I wanted to bring up a topic here.
Sure.
Well, in our last half hour.
No. Am I?
No.
Right?
We're fucking going here.
Am I doing it right, John?
Oh God.
No. What I wanted to ask. This is a total opinion thing here. What is your opinion of movie makers who make movies based off of games?
I
primarily have in mind Silent Hill, but any example.
I liked Silent Hill, actually.
Well, you have ones that. This is where it's weird because you have ones that stick really hard to the source material, and you have ones that will loosely base it off source material. So
my whole thing is the game. If the game lends itself well to a film, because the problem is that they're taking a lot of games that have like bare bones stories and trying to flesh them out into films.
Like Doom.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or they're taking movies or games rather with really fucking in-depth stories and then crapping out these movies that don't take advantage of the narrative. You know.
Hold on, give me a second. Give me just a
Well,
second.
to be fair, an in-depth game is
Yeah.
kind of like a book in the same sense. Like
Yeah.
you cannot do an hour and a half or a 2-hour movie
Sure.
that gives full justice to like a 400-page book.
Yeah.
At the same
yeah.
time, though, they're never going to sequel unless they hit a certain amount in the box office. So
Right. But I think like you look at the Resident Evil movies in particular, the first one wasn't even remotely an attempt to tie it into the games, and then they just went downhill from there.
well, I guess if you actually pay attention to the lores and like the books and shit like that and the games, they
No,
do-
even the books, dude. I've read all those shitty books by
No,
S.D.
no,
Perry.
no. I'm not talking about the books. I'm talking about the in-game books.
Oh yeah, no,
they
none of
reference to Alice. They just don't ever say Alice.
no, that's where the movie got that reference. That's the sole thing. Like they pulled that a throwaway reference from the game and made a movie about it. Like it has like aside
It
from
also
like locations
caused
and
living hell
enemies.
to me. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming that mansion is supposed to be the mansion from the movie.
It's implied, yeah.
It's not.
No.
The main entranceway is not a giant staircase. Go fuck yourself. It's not the right.
Now George Romero wrote a script based on Resident Evil, and it too took liberties, but it was more fun, and I would have loved to have seen them film that.
Well, I think we can agree that in the same way that each new game based off an original, like Halo 2, 3, 4,
Sure.
they always like add certain things. They add to the lore. I would actually be okay with someone making a movie that took liberties.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
game. Especially if I would be fine with what they did otherwise, but especially if I would totally love it if they were to take it and like add something to it that like the next game could then build off of.
Right, I get
Like
you.
that would rock me. I would be so happy with that.
Yeah, like playing around in that world, telling their own story, but being firmly in the game world.
Right,
And-
because if you have multiple characters,
altogether.
What's that?
Assassin's Creed and doing away with the Adamus altogether.
Are they?
and as when you're making a movie, you can totally focus on like different characters and tell different stories. I mean, there's a lot of authors who actually do the same thing with their books. Like they'll write 20 books, and several series of books will focus on like one character over another. I'd totally be fine with them doing that with a movie.
Yeah, now, and see, that's the thing. I mean, I would be more comfortable with filmmakers, taking that world and playing in it, like you're saying, rather than, like I liked Silent Hill. It wasn't a great movie, but it was atmospheric. It I don't know. It spoke to the world of the game, but it was weird in the sense that it would slavishly like recreate shots, like and camera angles from the game, and then like take huge liberties with the story. It was weird.
Yeah, from what I understand, I never played Silent Hill the game, but from
Right.
what I understand, they totally like redid Pyramid Head and just like made him like a 10-second appearance instead of like a whole integral
Well,
part.
Pyramid Head wasn't even in the first Silent Hill. He didn't come in till the second, I believe. So his existence in that movie was literally just a fan bait. It was like, here's a character you love, and we're gonna put it in here so you
And
Love
and
the later games for no reason because like he's only in 2 before the film.
right.
Right, and the thing that was weird is in the film, because I watched all of Silent Hill, and it was a
Right.
freaky fucking movie for me.
It was atmospheric, wasn't it, man?
It was very atmospheric. I will agree with that.
One
Like
thing
they,
I absolutely
they did that
love
great.
is the nurses. That entire scene where you
Yeah.
see the nurses all contorted and shit. That entire scene is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was very visually pleasing.
And
Well,
also-
they actually hired actual body contortionists to play
Yeah.
the nurses. So
Really, that's
yeah,
now. Was anyone a little bit freaked out whenever they burned the one girl at the stake?
Yeah, Andrea
yeah.
from The Walking Dead.
Like they just took her and like they didn't actually burn her. Like they just exposed her to the heat
Yeah.
so far that
And,
she
yeah,
screamed and then exploded into flames. And I was like, what
Yeah.
the?
That was fucked. Like the closer she got, the more her flesh started like bubbling, and then she caught on fire and died. It was sad.
That was, and like I said, I'm not into the horror movie genre very much. Like I can do a little bit of psychological thriller. Like, but like to put for those who did not hear me talking about the horror movies whenever we did that section in a few weeks ago, my level of horror is like when I played BioShock for the first time, I was really creeped out by the opening scenes.
Right.
Like that's
I
where
know
I
exactly the one scene that made you jump because it makes almost everybody jump.
Was it where you meet that first?
The doctor.
Yeah.
Where you pick up, I think you pick up like a wrench or something, and you turn around, and there's a fucking doctor right there behind you.
That didn't really do it for me because the way I ended up approaching the scene, like I actually actually ended up shooting him before he could scare me. It was weird. It was legitimately the very first scene when you go down in the bathysphere, and like there's just this fucking splicer that was it not a Houdini, a spider splicer, and just like flings itself at the bathysphere door,
Hey,
and then just slinks off into the darkness. And I'm like, what?
John, what'd you get on Steam? What'd you get on Steam?
Just now?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a conversation going on in a Skype cabal, a secret Skype cabal that you don't know. Just forget that I even said those words.
Yeah. What did you say?
What? No,
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Wink, wink. Nod, nod.
But due to a series of events, which we will not go into here, I
Right.
received a game, and the game is.
Oh, you got V.
It's called.
It's a
pronouncing
good game.
It's hold on, wait. It's a vacuum cleaner simulator. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently
It's along the lines of I am toast, or I am toast, or I am
No,
bread, or whatever.
Oh God, yeah. You're literally a piece of bread.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's along those lines. You're just gonna be a vacuum hanging out in the closet for the first 3 levels,
Yeah. No, this game is it's
and then
plays around with
it's gonna
gravity a
get
lot.
really sketchy because you're gonna hear the wife walk out the door. The husband's gonna come in, and he's gonna turn you on.
and he's gonna use you to masturbate. He's gonna.
He's gonna work on his wrist exercises.
Yeah.
And
Get
then
your penis out of
you
the
hold your
vacuum
cursor
cleaner.
over the husband, and it says Ben Kuchera. Oh, did I give away the ending? Sorry.
Oh shit! But no, that's a good game.
Actually, no, it was surprisingly fun. Now, I suggest you play this with friends because I don't even know what the fuck was going on. 100% orange juice.
Yeah, that was fun. It's like Mario Party except fucking weeaboo.
Different. It's not even. It's how is it Mario Party, man? Like, there's no mini games. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like a board game.
No,
and
there's
like
fighting.
RPG, random.
There's fighting like seagulls and shit.
I was gonna say,
I'll be
it's like
back in a minute.
it's like a board game mixed with like RPG simulated fights and shit like that. with
Yeah,
tournament
it's fun.
fights.
It's fun, and it's all based on rolls of the die and whatnot. It's real fun. I don't understand what's going on in that game when I play it, but it's a really good multiplayer. It's got an online mode, so play it and enjoy it. And there's another one that Jason keeps pimping. It's called Mount Your Friends. This game can be found on the Xbox 360 or on Steam.
I wouldn't suggest playing it on either.
Yeah, it's got jiggle physics for a piece of anatomy you don't want to see jiggle.
You mean a crotch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I was joking, but is that true?
yeah. Jason
Oh,
really
that's true.
enjoys that game.
Legitimately the jiggle we were talking about.
Yeah. And
So I
yeah.
think I'm probably gonna pick up KOTOR tonight.
Why?
Why? I don't
Yeah.
know why not.
Why? Does it come with all of them, or are you talking
No, it's
like?
KOTOR 1.
Oh yeah. Oh, they. How much is it going for?
$10 on Steam.
Not too bad, I guess.
I
Gonna
never
get
played
it?
them either, so I really wanted to give them a shot.
Yeah. Well, it's BioWare. You'll fucking get right into it.
if I could if OBS was an option for me, I would stream, but OBS doesn't like my laptop, so I can't.
Yeah, that's some fuckery. Yeah, so you never figured that out, huh?
Nope. I spent legitimately like 4 hours trying to figure out OBS, and it just didn't.
Well, that's like me with my fucking capture card. Like, I struggled with it for 4 hours just to find out it was an option. I had to turn off my PS4.
Well, see, this is more than an option on a fucking PC wow. Fucking,
Yeah. Josh was saying your PC uses some weird dual setup or something.
Yeah, it uses some weird dual graphics setup, and it wants to fight with itself to choose what graphics card to use.
Oh, there's a deal.
Hey guys,
A deal. Get in here.
He doesn't have the invite, and
Mm.
we're only 15 minutes out, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to join in the last 15 minutes.
what happened to Remy? She left.
She had to go help her daughter do some things.
Okay, 'cause she's been tweeting, so I mean it's pretty recent.
Yeah. I figure she could do that and be mom.
Yeah.
You know. So. Plus, I don't think she likes me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Yeah, she's good. But yeah, she's taking care of business, working overtime, and all that shit. And yeah, we don't have to end in 15 minutes, man.
Yeah, I want to though. I want to go and play some games.
Yeah, you don't
Plus, there are
get
all
to
these
do that.
great people here who want to be able to go and do the same and not have to listen to us yap forever. So
What's happening, guys? Adil asks, like, you don't fucking know.
yeah, why weren't you
You're
listening to the whole
Skype
show, you ass fucking? Oh my god.
You're part of the same Skype cabal that we don't ever talk about, because that's rule 1 of Skype cabal. Rule 2 of Skype cabal is
Why are you
don't talk
fucking
about
talking
Fight
about
Club.
Skype cabal?
Don't talk about Fight Club. Anyway, yeah. What do we got to fill the last 15 minutes with aside from my dick?
Well, that's
Yeah, that's 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes down. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. Ah, shit.
All right, well, let's talk about what we're going to try to play this weekend. Do a
Yeah.
little bit of shilling.
Well, fuck. I mean, if we end up getting some more Sanic on, I'll be doing that. And aside from that, I'll probably be recording some more of my Donkey Kong Country shit. Or actually, I found the worst GameCube game ever, and it's a Batman game, and I'm going to
Oh,
be
Batman
doing,
Dark Tomorrow.
yeah, I'm going to be doing a stream of that at some point this weekend.
And where can people find your Twitch channel?
Oh, it's yeah, that's a good question. It's,
Oh God.
no, Twitch. Okay, it's Twitch TV / CYBERXION_101, and that's where I do my idiocy. And
How did the deal get in here?
I sent him the link. I sent him the link to the cast.
Congratulations, you joined for the last 10 minutes of the show.
Hell yeah, I gotta make one appearance. God.
Always late to the party.
Hell yeah, fashionably late.
Yeah. That's actually why he didn't die in 9/11. He was too late.
Oh God.
Fuck.
That shit hit. No, I'm sorry. That was bad, even by my standards. No.
Oh man.
No, Deal's a good guy. We appreciate
Yeah.
Deal very much, actually.
He's actually hosting his own podcast as well now. We separated the 2-hour shitposted segment, as if you couldn't tell.
Right. Yeah, right.
We took the
actually
2-hour
topic this episode, so
Yeah, we did for
proud
the
of
most
us.
part, but there was quite a bit of shitposting, which was fine, you know.
Yeah.
But
That's all I bring to the table, man.
but
yeah,
Phil
our little
has
terroristic
taken
training here.
over
Look at him. He looks
the
like the fucking
shitposting.
Unabomber.
Oh, thanks guys.
Yeah, take that jacket
I just got back. I just got back home.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah,
one second.
Neil has taken over the shitposting segment with his own podcast. That is the Brown Note.
Yeah. Are you still going forward with that deal? You working out
Yeah,
the
I am.
kinks?
I am. I just. Yeah, like episode 1. The actual episode 1 will be next week. So.
Cool. Yeah, we did a test run.
That ended up horribly.
Like,
Oh shit! I muted myself.
No, I mean like this time. No, trust me, I'm gonna be ready this time. You know, your boy.
yeah.
Like, let's just say I got shit on lock. Trust me, I've
got
got.
mad skills. He is now in his next to final form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his fuckery is over 9,000. Now he's yeah. My only advice, Deal, just don't be nervous, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was.
Never tell a person don't be nervous, because then it's like, oh shit.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I'm
he
nervous.
will be nervous.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous.
I know, dick.
Look, Adil, look.
Yeah.
All I gotta say, man, is
Nah.
all the pressure.
Yeah, all of
the
it.
pressure.
Feel it
Listen,
all.
Hell yeah.
People watching
don't
you
listen
right
to these
now.
fucks. They say they don't know what
No,
they're
no,
talking
no.
about.
Give me
Just
the
have
Until
fun.
there's a secret
I'm
way
actually-
to do it. The
Have
way you
fun.
do it is you take off your pants
Yeah.
and just podcast the whole time with your dick in your hand.
Yeah.
It sounds weird and slightly perverted, but trust me.
Dude, I'm doing that right now. I'm not wearing pants.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's wearing a coat but no
Preparing for
pants.
episode 1.
He's wearing a coat but no pants.
But no.
Wear a trench
My
coat
advice,
this time.
my advice really is just have fun doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you're not having fun doing it, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
But it's the Brown Note. That's the most hilarious fucking, hilariously named fucking show ever.
Yeah, we're all in the business.
It's relevant in several different fucking.
We're all in the business of stealing the names of our podcasts from other
Is
people.
someone gonna shoot their pants?
Yeah. Oh, I did
Oh, wow.
3 times during the preview.
That does sound like a euphemism for used toilet paper. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And sharding. I did a lot of that on the first
God,
episode.
yeah, oh man, I could smell it from Texas.
Yeah.
Like, come
And then a
on,
lot
man.
God.
Really? Oh.
Yes. On the brown note, there will be a lot of that, guys.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of that.
Oh,
So
he
get
spent
used to
the
it.
Potty
he spent the
humor.
first episode with a fucking eye patch on, and
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome.
it's because I'm your evil overlord. Never
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah. Oh,
Except for
fuck
me, I'm born
And
to
he had to
rebel.
put on his own. He had to put on a fake mustache because he can't grow one himself. So.
Oh, I can so too grow a mustache.
Yeah.
Okay.
Must resist Bin Laden joke.
Oh God. Dude. Oh shit.
No. You'd look handsome with the beard, dude. Rock it.
You know, he probably look handsome with a beard and a vest.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, shut up. Okay, you know we gotta balance. We gotta balance
Let's be
this shit with some respect, okay? 'Cause otherwise,
No.
it's gonna fucking blow us all up.
Listen,
Actually, I was
let's
just
be
gonna-
honest.
I want to say though, Adila, have you ever
Our-
considered going as a terrorist for Halloween?
We're in the last 8 minutes of the show. Let's go
No.
ahead and start wrapping it up. Do all of our pitches and everything so people know where to
Bitches
find
are for
us.
bitches.
Okay.
No, I
All
threw all
of
the
our-
links that I want in the thing in the chat. So
All right. Well, still, just so people who may have missed it
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
We'll start with the deal since he just showed up. Go ahead and let people know where to find you on YouTube, Twitter, and what time your show is.
On Twitter, you can find me at LiveFire940. My show is going to be on Sundays from now on, from 9 to 11. So yeah,
Yeah, he likes those.
yeah,
hours.
9/11.
Oh, God.
He's only going to do it once a year.
Yeah, 9/11.
Between 9 and
Central
11.
Time. Yeah,
Central
and
Time?
yeah, and I'm about to put up a test stream soon. Just testing out my Twitch, and I'm probably going to be playing some Street Fighter. So I'll post a link to that on my Twitter. So
Cool.
Very cool.
All right, John. Where can people find you on the internet?
Which one?
Apocalypse. Sorry.
Apocalypse John.
Just Twitter, I guess. I don't really post much. I don't really do. This is what I really do on the internet.
All right. Well, what's your Twitter handle?
It's John Apocalypse.
All right.
John
there you
Apocalypse.
go. All right.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right.
Jonathan, because I'm not calling you the other joke name anymore. I will give
All
you
right,
that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right,
Where
you can
people
find
you
me.
on the internet?
You can find me at Mindless Zombie Studios. I wrote several articles about gaming culture, especially as it relates to Gamergate. I'm going to be coming out with a few more over this coming week. And you can also find me on Twitter
Where he
at
writes
EA
about
Capitalism, where I don't necessarily talk about Gamergate, but I do talk about
Penis.
basically
A
stupid
lot
shit
of
that makes
penis.
me laugh. Yes, I do like laughing
Shit
at
ton of
penises.
penis. Oh,
Just because I'm somewhat burnt out on the political stuff right now, and I'll probably go like politics crazy in about a year.
I see you
Going
itching
now,
too.
Going's good.
I can tell you're itching for a good political debate. I know you.
I am always prepared to debate religion or philosophy or psychology or
So if you're looking
politics.
for any of this shit, hit Jonathan up. He's
I've
Smart guy.
smacked a few bitches down. Let's just put it that way. Like if you try to come at me, bro,
also really
I'll fucking
humble.
hand you your ass.
He's
on
also really
a silver
humble.
platter.
So.
I'm very humble. I said a silver platter, not a gold one. Okay, it's like that shit's expensive, man. I'm not living the high lifestyle yet.
Yeah. All right.
oh wow.
Right.
You can
You can
at
find-
this stream right now.
You can find me on this
Continue.
YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe with everybody you know. I've started up a Twitch, but I'm still having occasional issues with it. mainly I can't figure out how exactly to get it to record the stream. So,
But it is up for the most part.
There
though.
is a
It's
setting.
running.
There is a
Yes.
setting, Ryan, that you have to go to have it automatically archive your broadcasts.
oh, there is. All right.
Yeah, so just
This
go
would have
fuck
been a good
out.
conversation to have outside of the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. Well, no.
John,
I mean, I like
we have to talk.
I like reminding him that things are easy.
But yeah,
Now-
go ahead.
A deal.
I was gonna say, John, we have to talk after we get off the stream about that link you posted. Yeah, we're going to have an intervention. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, Ryan, where else can we find?
Intervene in me. I mean, continue.
You can
Uh-huh.
find me on Twitch at Rotten Rye, or well, at Rotten Rye. You can find me on Twitch. My channel name is Rotten_Rye. You can find me on YouTube, as you already are. You can find me on Twitch, or well, I already said Twitch, Twitter. See, I need to not be doing other things while hosting this. I'm telling you, this is a bad thing.
Bad idea.
You can find me on Twitter at RottenRyeHD, and you can also, I'm not sure if this episode will go up on Mindless Zombie or not, but you can also find me on Mindless Zombie Studios, especially when I start getting more content up there.
Fantastic.
And me, Twitch TV, CyberXION_101, YouTube, Red Warrior Plays Games Badly. That other place, Twatter, is CyberXION_101. And I've also done some stuff for Mindless Zombie Studios, and will be doing more in the future. And and follow my fucking stuff, man. Come on, do it.
And
I
if
just
there's
learned how to monetize.
if there's anything here that you cannot type fast enough, it is all in the description, correct?
Not all of it, most of it is.
Most of it's in the description. Soon it will all be in the description for you guys to click and check out and click all the links and see what we're up to and what content we're putting out.
Yeah. Enjoy. All right. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap the show. Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the new 3-hour format. It was a lot easier on us, and now we can actually go and play some games while
I'll get to see my loved ones again.
Yeah, Ron, are you going to be streaming directly after this?
I'm probably going to watch the episode of Breaking Bad because I just got into that show.
Yeah.
And then after that,
dang.
I'll probably start streaming something.
I'll probably be streaming somewhere around 9 Mountain, so about 11 you guys' time. I'm going to do some of that Batman game because I've heard that I wanted to stream the worst game ever created for the GameCube. And
Oh man, good luck.
yeah,
Now, John, what were you asking about me streaming for?
No, just so everyone knows when to look for you.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, just keep an eye on Twitter. I'll make sure I drop the link up there somewhere.
There you go. Follow us on Twitter.
Definitely. If you guys want to know updates on all of us, we're probably on Twitter.
Yeah. And be sure to check out Adil's Brown Note when it goes live. Dude's your fucking brown overlord, so you got to.
Right.
Right?
All right, yeah.
It's like a requirement.
Exactly.
Call it a
All right,
night.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to episode 9 of the Weekly Grind, and we'll see you guys here next week.
Yeah.